For real? Oh no. Let's go.
Boston
State of OH! In Berkeley, California. You got it. This one's for three. AJ Hawk, $5,000. USA! USA!
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey!
What?
Let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You ping!
Damn it! Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. on this NFL Week 3 kickoff Thursday, September 18th, 2025. This program begins now.
Football
It is the greatest sport of all time, and Week 3 of the greatest league on earth will kick off its wonderful weekend tonight in the AFC East as the Miami Dolphins will travel to take on the Buffalo Bills. The Bills 11.5-point favorites at ESPN Bet. You can find them as 12.5-point favorites at a couple of the other books. The Dolphins, a wounded. They're a mammal?
Yeah.
Wounded mammal.
Yep. Big brain.
Huge brain. We appreciate dolphins, the mammals,
Will
actually. They do like to reproduce, and even if they don't have a chance of reproducing, they will certainly hit that thing on your arm or your body if you're in there swimming with them. But they got big brains, okay? I believe the Navy SEALs actually use them to circle our ships out there, and they protect us. So we appreciate the dolphins, the mammal. And I'm pumped that Ace Ventura was able to find that snowflake, the dolphin who was able to kick field goals, because that's a wonderful thing. But whenever you think about this Dolphins team of now, you do kind of think about the Ray Finkel era of the Miami Dolphins. You think about the 1972 Dolphins and how they were undefeated. You think about Dan Marino and the run that he had, but he was never able to win a Super Bowl. But at some point, this Miami Dolphins team is going to be legendary. They reset the market for wide receivers when they brought Tyreek Hill in. Tua Tagovailoa is an absolute star. He's going to change it all. McDaniel, this big-brained offensive guru, wakes up at 3 a.m.
That's right.
This guy loves ball. Obviously, everywhere he's been successful, and he's unique to himself. He's obviously one of one. We've never seen a head coach like him before. The Miami Dolphins were going to return to their glory days post Brian Flores' head coaching run there, which has resurfaced.
It has.
Into the news cycle here as of today. But this was supposed to be a great run, and now we sit here 3 years into the experiment. Tyreek Hill potentially not going to be a Dolphin by the end of the year.
Sure.
Tua Tagovailoa potentially not being a guy. And McDaniel, the conversation is this guy a good head coach? Well, we got a fun little stat for you as the Dolphins are 0-2 traveling to take on the Buffalo Bills as anywhere from 11.5 to 12.5-point dogs. NFL teams that are 0-2 and are dogs in Week 3 have gone 37-17 against the spread. Wounded teams, teams that are backed in a corner, normally cover a spread for us. Now, that's not outright wins.
No.
Okay, that is not outright wins. That is just covering the spread. 11.5, 12.5 feels like a lot of points for a Thursday night game, especially a division game between the Dolphins and the Bills. I believe the Bills have won 11 of their last 12 against the Miami Dolphins, but they've been games.
Oh, yeah.
They've been games. Just at the end of those games, one team is able to execute, one team isn't, which has kind of been the story of this Miami Dolphins team, who were in a dogfight with the New England Patriots just a week or 4 days ago. Now what will they do tonight? We shall see. Obviously, Kirk and Al will be on the call.
Hell yeah.
We'll be waiting all day for Thursday night. Time's always good for Amazon Prime. Pretty good little kickoff show they got over there.
Yeah.
Great production value. And tonight, Buffalo will be alive. Is this the last? No, it won't be the last game that we see in this stadium.
No, not yet.
No, because they're going to have a lot of primetime games this year.
And
Josh Allen, we're going to see Josh Allen
Couple more times,
under the lights a lot
Home
here.
playoff.
And we talk about everything about the Miami Dolphins. On the flip side, this Buffalo Bills team is now, they're ready to avenge the four falls.
Yes.
This team is the one that's ready to go. So in your head, you think to yourself, maybe Josh Allen and Bosa's interesting photo there of Bosa.
Who is that guy?
That is
Chet? That's not Bosa.
I don't know, but Bosa and Josh Allen obviously there for the bit.
What
I mean, what
the
an interesting
hell? That's
photo.
not Bosa.
Is this a bone graphic? Is this a bone graphic? Dirty graphic?
Yes, Bone.
This is a bone graphic.
that-
He's a Buffalo Bills fan. Did he try to make Bosa
That's
look
his
thinner?
team.
Is that Jake Glazer?
Where? You talking about Bosa?
Right there, yeah.
I guess I could see.
I could see a young Jake Glazer in there.
Nonetheless,
I thought it was Braun Breaker for a
this-
second.
It does have a little
That's why Bone did it.
It does have a little bit of a Braun Breaker feel there on the right side. The Buffalo Bills, who are D-Bone's team that he just adopted 3 weeks ago, they are potentially going to win it all. They potentially best team in ball. Dolphins potentially worst team in ball. So them blowing out the Dolphins is certainly on the table as well tonight for Thursday night. And I think that massive question mark gives us a great way to kick off this week 3. The Toxic Table's here at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. One half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys AP Tone is here. 11.5, 12.5 point spreads, depending upon the book. ESPN Bet has it as 11.5. That's big for a week 3 game, especially on a Thursday night game. That feels like a lot of points for any NFL game, let alone early Thursday division game.
Yes, huge, and that'll be tied for first or second, depending on where the line closes at, for largest spread of the season. Last week, the Ravens and Browns was also around 11.5, 12.5. The Ravens did cover that number. It wasn't on a short week, though. And this is one of those things, and you take a look at the stats, the 37-17, 0-2 teams in week 3 as dogs again. And a lot of it is like people think they just look at that 0-2 number and they're like, oh, this team is absolute trash. It's not always the case. A lot of the time it's not the case.
But the sports books kind of think that.
Yeah, they build it in. They build it in the public, to take away from the risk that they have. They got to cook that into the number as well. But I have always been a guy who, if losing bets upset you, and you went to bed after tonight, like at midnight, and you picked the Dolphins and they lost by 30, you'd be like, what was that?
Yeah, you're right. It is, the pillow talking. Whenever you have to
You
talk
could probably
to yourself.
live the other way.
Mm-hmm. When you say, I picked this Miami Dolphins team, this one, that we saw week 1 in the Loud House against potential best football team of all time.
Exactly.
Indianapolis Colts. We have no idea what it's going to be at the end of the season. All these team stories could be anything. We could be looking at the greatest season of all time from 10 different quarterbacks, 10 different running backs. We have still so early in it all. But the way we're viewing the Dolphins at this moment, they could also be the worst team in the history of ball.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They could be one of the only teams to go completely defeated. They'd be the first team ever to lose 17 straight games in a regular season. They're also the only team to ever go undefeated throughout the entirety. So the Dolphins fans have certainly lived both worlds, especially if you're 95 years old and you saw those 72 Dolphins.
Right.
Because if you're younger than that, you haven't really seen that part of it. You've only seen this particular shoe drop in the entirety. But we have no idea what the rest of the year is going to look like. And maybe tonight's a night that Tua and Tyreek get on the same page.
Possible.
And maybe the Miami Dolphins come flying out. Maybe Achan stays in bounds on that cut, and it's a long run. Let's go to the other half of the hammer.
Dahn.
Cowboys, Bubba Gumpino, great jersey. You look fantastic. I know in your heart of hearts, you're hoping that the Dolphins do turn this around. And maybe you do have a Super Bowl team in there somewhere. And maybe you do have a head coach that can make adjustments and rally the boys and keep everybody on the same page. But in your brain, I think you're a little bit more negative than your heart is. Is that an accurate depiction of how Dolphins fans feel?
Yeah, Josh Allen never lost to the Dolphins at home as well. Only lost at Miami once, but you got to show some pride tonight. I'm telling you.
Oh, we're at the show pride stage.
Yeah,
it's
you
week
got
3.
it. Yeah,
Nice.
you got it. You got to fight because after this, you got the Jets and you got the Panthers. So say you keep it close tonight. Say you lose. Then you come back, you win 2 in a row. All of a sudden, you're 2-3. Season's back on. You got to fight tonight, boys. Your back's against the wall.
Come on,
show
boys.
some damn pride.
Don't lose by more than 12 and a half.
Please.
Come on.
Come on, boys. Gumpy's getting a dub tonight if this thing is less than a 2-score game.
Sounds like it, yeah.
Yes, it sounds like he's been there. And also, I assume he's going to cook together alongside Connor, and they'll keep it in their inside voices.
Not true.
Won't share it with anybody.
Don't even have an inside voice.
That's true.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. Won't talk about it when other ears are around. They'll have some sort of touchdown parlay. And tonight, Gumpy will find a win, is what Gumpy's saying. Con man, from listening to the way you're speaking, you are almost maybe all the way in the aquarium with the Dolphins right now. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I'm swimming with the fishes, and my fins are up. I'm not going to go out there and say, hey, my fins are jumping out of the water, and I'm having fun, and the Dolphins are going to win tonight. I just think with the Bills, they're a great football team, no matter what. They could have played the 2 worst teams weeks 1 and 2, and we would still know that they're a great football team. With Miami, they lose to the Colts week 1. You're not really sure. I think right now you can say the Colts are a very good football team. So, that loss now, sure, after week 1 it was terrible because they got their asses handed to them. But now it doesn't look as bad. The Colts beat the Broncos. Okay, hold on, maybe the Colts are good. Patriots, you don't know. Patriots lose to the Raiders, and then they beat the Dolphins. You really don't know if the Patriots are a good football team yet. So for Miami, you're not sure. And the idea that they're going to get blown out, completely believable. Josh Allen, he just threw for 274 yards in the fourth quarter of a primetime game against the Ravens. He can definitely do that against the Dolphins, without a doubt. But hungry dogs run faster, baby. They need one. They need one so bad, or it really is over. Not just for the season, but Mike McDaniel. All of a sudden, you're starting to think, does he even get a chance to play the Panthers and the Saints? Tonight is kind of one of those times.
Jeez, you're saying that seat's getting Blistering hot down there on the butt cheeks of McDaniel.
Definitely hot Miami. You're about to experience it. It's hot no matter
Can't wait.
what. He's
Can't
going to
wait.
be sweating, especially if that's like a metal chair in the sun. He's going to be sitting down and his ass cheeks will get burnt. But I more so think just like Thursday night, if you're going to fire a coach, right, you got 10 days. You can at least
week 3.
You can at least turn it around a little bit. Well, it's not week 3. We've done this gimmick. We've done the 2 years. We've seen what has happened. They've They've let players go who have then gone on to be all pro. Van Ginkel, and that felt like a layup. It's not like he was $100 million. He signed like a 2-year, $15 million
You're saying they lose
deal.
by 50 tonight. There needs to be some conversations potentially had, or possible conversations to be had.
Yeah, exactly. Just about the whole thing. Like,
Got to show some fight, boys.
Got to show some fight. Like Tyreek Hill was number 1 player in football last year at this time. He got the huge award. He got the number 1 award. So it's one of those things where they don't have shitty players. They have good players. So why they shouldn't be getting beaten by 30.
A lot of distractions in Miami. I don't know how anybody does football down there.
Yeah?
To be honest, though, I'm happy I didn't get drafted down there. I don't know if I would have actually survived. I have no idea if that would have happened. And the best truck down the line. Is a Ram truck.
No question about it.
Yeah, the Hemi V8 is back, fired up and raring to go. Get in on it. Motor Trend has chosen Ram 1500 as its truck of the year.
That's huge.
Truck of the year. Hey, we know Motor Trend.
Motor Trend's big deal.
Yeah, they're not just giving that out.
No, it's like the Oscars.
Yeah, they're checking every bolt. They're looking into every V.
Yep.
Even those 4 banging pieces of shit that are outside. That D-Bone showed up in his first couple weeks here. They're checking them all out to see who's superior. Motor Trend said, boom, Ram truck's got it. The V8 Hemi being back is good. You got a Hemi in there? Yeah. Happy that's back in our society. And Ram's truck also back on the track and returning a NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Yeah, love it.
That's going to change the game.
That's all we're doing.
Yep.
That's what it's going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be incredible.
You just watched it.
They're in New Hampshire this weekend.
Truck Series? The Craftsman Truck Series?
Live for your dime, baby. They're going to have fun up in New Hampshire.
Well, they need to get comfortable because next year, whenever Ram trucks get back in that, we already showed what it's going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be flawless.
Yeah.
It's got to be the worst ad.
Yeah,
that's what's great.
In the history. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who drives a Ram truck every day. And when you look at him, you think to yourself, that's a Ram truck, man. You actually think to yourself, holy shit, does that guy actually have a Hemi inside? Because all he does is just his way through all the NFL news, opinions, and obviously headlines. Ladies and gentlemen, senior NFL insider for ESPN, host of the Adam Schefter podcast, Adam Schefter.
Yay!
What's going on, guys?
What does a Ram truck sound like?
Yep.
Close.
Pretty close. Yep,
Yeah, close, especially whenever it's kind of wide open
About
there.
third of a way there.
I think you nailed it. Okay, hey, let's look at tonight. We saw a stat from
Josh Applebaum,
which we appreciate. Great name. It said that teams that are dogs in week 3 that are also 0-2, they've gone 37-17 against the spread. Seemingly a lot of fight in week 3 because this does feel like the stats of a team making it to Super Bowl or making playoffs after being 0-3, obviously not much worse than anybody else, but 0-2, you have a little bit of a shot. 0-3, history tells us that's going to be a long road. That's a long hole to get out of. So is that why you think teams show a little bit more fight in week 3 and at least cover? And do you think this Dolphins team is going to be on par with that? Now, we watched them against Colts week 1. We're best team in ball. We understand it. Eyes on them in the Loud House. And then against the Patriots, they were in that thing. Maybe should have won that game. Are we giving up on the Dolphins, or how do you feel about them going into tonight?
Listen, I think that they've played fairly well in Buffalo, better than people think. And they've played well in Buffalo when it's been cold out. It's 68 degrees there right now in Buffalo. And so the weather is not going to be a factor. And, yeah, the Dolphins gave away the game. If they hadn't given away the game last week and come back and beat New England, you might have a totally different perspective on the game tonight. But it feels incredibly lopsided. I think it's the biggest spread of the week on any of the week 3 matchups.
Yep.
And it just feels like Buffalo should do what it wants. But look, we all know what happens in these games. Weird things happen. Strange things occur. And all of a sudden, a team like the Dolphins that not many people are counting on comes through and plays better than people think. I think we get a better Dolphin outing. They don't have the horses to match up to Buffalo. Tua himself has said he's half the quarterback that Josh Allen is this week. That was an interesting comment
They
from
can't
Tua.
do half the stuff.
He's very self-aware.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But, that should have been followed up. But Josh also can't do.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
No.
Which is part of the problem, the issue. Everything's negative coming out of Miami from our experience right now. And Gumpy, obviously, diehard Dolphins fan. So we live with every single news break, every player release, every Pro Bowler left out of the building, every leader get out of the building, every conversation that seems to just come back up every 2 months. Is this guy on the team? Does he like being here? Does he not like being here? It's
Coaches.
like coach, everything about it. We've lived through Gumpy, and Gumpy's always, literally, that is the relationship that Gumpy, as a Dolphins fan, has with the Dolphins. So tonight would be huge for them, is what I'd like to say, and huge for Gumpy.
I got a good friend who's a Dolphins fan. He starts ranting to me during these games that they're losing. And he doesn't understand. I love him, but I don't really care, when he's going through his frustrations. Like, I love him. Shout out to Mark Patrickov. Love you, Mark. But when the Dolphins, that's your concern, mine.
I love that. Schefter's like, hey, Mark, you know this. I don't have personable conversations. You either have information or you don't. Okay, I don't. There's the opinion game. I don't need to hear it.
Don't care.
Now, let's talk about some other topics. Obviously, tonight, Tua and Josh Allen will be playing. We are now officially maybe at 5 backup quarterbacks getting some playing time. Brock Purdy might be back. I guess that is kind of the report coming out of San Francisco yesterday.
Possibly. Like, they think there's a chance. I guess we'll know more today. I still think it's possible. We'll get a better idea today and tomorrow. They felt last week when we spoke with the Niners over the weekend, they're like, Brock Purdy's going to have a chance next week. Not a great chance, but he's got a chance. And that was exactly what they said yesterday. So I think they've been holding out hope that he can make it back. But Mac Jones showed last week that he's capable of stepping in and playing well. He helped San Francisco beat New Orleans in New Orleans last week. So if they have to roll with Mac this week, they'll do that. Obviously, they'd like to have Purdy back, and we should have more clarity here in the next 48 hours, I would think.
Okay, we're pulling for everybody's health. Obviously, this is a lot of quarterbacks out early. You kind of alluded to Jaden on Monday before any of us really knew anything about that potentially being a possibility. He's out with a mild knee sprain. Then J.J. McCarthy, he's obviously out. Joe Burrow, he's obviously out. Who am I missing there? No, that's Justin Fields. Fields is out. It's like, this is very early for this many quarterbacks, or is this something we just don't remember until it happens?
Well, you know what's funny? I said to Ty this morning, I said, like, when you get Jake Browning and Carson Wentz in week 3, that's the kind of matchup that you feel like you normally get in week 17 or 18. Like, oh, it's Wentz and Browning. And by the way, the Bengals like Browning and believe in him, and Carson Wentz has been a great quarterback in this league for a while. But it just feels a little odd to be getting that matchup in week 3 when we could have and should have been getting Joe Burrow versus J.J. McCarthy, and it doesn't go that way because of a couple of injuries here. It is early. This is an unusual amount of injuries this early in the season for quarterbacks. There always seems to be a stretch in the season where all of a sudden quarterbacks start dropping. It occurred a little earlier this year, which is never good for anybody. It's not good for the teams. It's not good for the quarterbacks themselves. It's not good for the NFL. Not great for fans. So hopefully these guys will get back soon. Joe is going to be on the shelf for a minimum of 3 months, but JJ will be 2 to 4 weeks, and Jaden may miss a week or so. Brock Purdy, we'll see if he can get back. Justin Fields in the protocol. The Jets play on Monday night next week against the Dolphins, so he'll have an extra day to get ready. I would think that he'd be back, assuming he can clear through protocol. But yeah, a lot of quarterback questions for this early in the season.
Okay, you mentioned Carson Wentz there playing for J.J. McCarthy. We obviously experienced the Carson Wentz experience here in Indianapolis, and his good ball is so awesome. It is electrifying. It is great. And then his wild Carson Wentz experience stuff is obviously very cardiac worthy, sure. I would say, through it all. What is KOC and what are you hearing out of Minnesota about Carson Wentz, the quarterback that he's going to be for them? And his 6th start for 6 different teams in 6 years. Obviously, people are talking about how that's pretty wild in an NFL record. But what are they expecting from Carson Wentz?
Look, they went out and signed him, and they traded Sam Howell to the Eagles knowing that they could get Carson Wentz as the backup in there. Carson Wentz is somebody who grew up as a Vikings fan, always wanted to play for the organization, went to Vikings games as kids, did the Skol chants, and now he's got a chance to kind of live out his childhood dreams there to go be a quarterback in Minnesota. And look, if he can succeed, that's going to be interesting because that's going to be a direct reflection again on Kevin O'Connell being a quarterback whisperer that he is. If he steps in and lights it up, you're going to start like the way that Mac Jones did last week for San Francisco, frankly, when we think of Kyle Shanahan elevating the level of play of quarterback. So now that's at stake here for the Vikings, Kevin O'Connell. And by the way, if he plays really well, all of a sudden you'll be like, okay, now you don't have to rush JJ McCarthy back with them going to, they got to go to
Ireland,
Dublin,
and London.
Back-to-back games before a bye. So again, if and when Wentz plays well, then I think that takes some pressure off you in terms of getting JJ back.
McQuaid's covering the game.
McQuaid is covering both games.
I think McQuaid is on the call over there. Congrats to McQuaid.
McQuaid. Congrats, Michael.
We're happy for you, McQuaid.
Love you, McQuaid.
You need to meet McQuaid. He's an Irish legend. He's your job. He does your job, my job, Ty's job. Goodell's job.
God's job.
He does in Ireland. He is one of him and the Irish
pro football
Irish guys. They've been banging the drum for the NFL in Ireland for a long time.
The pipe.
They're getting it. Yeah, I'm sorry.
They've been playing the pipe.
They certainly have.
You go over there.
Chugging the beers. A lot of the beers. They've been splitting the G's. Hop, playing the live music. They've been doing the whole thing for the NFL for a long time over there, and getting a chance to see them, get a chance to do, like the NFL taking care of them.
Yeah.
I think is very cool. I'm happy to see that. Okay, let's stay in the NFC North. You just talked about Carson Wentz potentially being the starter for the Minnesota Vikings for the rest of the season, is what I heard.
Yeah. There's a chance.
What I heard right there.
Mm-hmm. No, that's not what you heard there, but okay.
No rush. Got no rush to get JJ back, though. That is good. Got an experienced vet. That's why you pay him. Allegedly, they also offered Daniel Jones. They were looking for an experienced veteran for whatever happens, whether it's injury or, if JJ just plays not great at all, which we still have yet to see. Very young in his career. I'm excited to see how that all goes. Carson Wentz experience could be
Oh, yeah. A1.
I mean, it could. But it could also, I guess, have a little bit of a
like Sam Darnold stepped in there and Sam Darnold lit it up. Like
different styles of play. I think different style. Carson Wentz, they say Brett Favre, gunslinger, that guy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, because he had trust in his arm and faith in his arm. Carson Wentz, not only gunslinger, he's a run slinger as well. Like, he thinks his legs can beat everybody. He thinks his shoulders can beat he thinks every play he can beat everybody. Yeah. And it is awesome when he does it. When he does beat everybody, it's amazing. Bouncing on a ball, throwing that thing into five. Five. Penta.
Yeah. Yep.
Penta coverage.
Yep.
I don't even know if that's what that would be. Throw it into five people on somebody and still make the catch. Room. Yeah, zero.
Zero coverage.
Yeah. That would be exactly what it is. And then if he can, Sam Darnold, not saying as Carson, but if Kevin O'Connell can wrangle Carson Wentz into all the positives,
that boy's going to fly.
Carson Wentz might get $150 million.
It's about an MVP
this offseason. All right, let's move forward. Let's stay in the NFC North. Go ahead, Con Man.
Yeah, Schefty, I'm going to have Foxy run this clip about the Bears, and I'm going to ask you about Ben Johnson here.
I think our practice habits are yet to reflect the championship caliber team.
He's a psychopath. I love Ben Johnson. I think this is awesome. Him talking about practice habits, everyone was kind of saying, hey, buddy, you're the head coach. Like, why don't you fix it then? That is a question for sure. I think another thing would be, what about the quarterback? Feels like the quarterback and the leaders of that team would be someone who kind of figures practice out. What's going on in Chicago, Schefty? It feels like it's much worse, much quicker than anyone could have really thought. And is there a chance that we do see Tyson Bagent play football this year?
Boy, we're getting to the Tyson Bagent question in the early part of the program.
It's not good, Schefty.
They're paying him money.
Yeah.
They're paying him money.
Listen, Caleb Williams, they brought in Ben Johnson to fix him. I'm not going to tell you that eventually, at some point, if Caleb struggled, if they couldn't get there, that's a down-the-line thing. And if they do, that's going to be quite the story and quite the conversation. I think right now, obviously, they're focused on getting Caleb Williams right, but there are issues. He has a lower completion percentage this season than he did last season. So, again, The idea was to bring in Ben Johnson, elevate Caleb Williams, beef up the offensive line, get everything humming. And I think that this just shows you it's going to take a little bit of time for everybody to get acclimated. And when Ben Johnson's talking to reporters about the practice habits, sometimes Jimmy Johnson used to say that you don't speak to the media, you speak through the media. So I wonder if that's a case where he's speaking through the media to get a message to the players that our practice habits are not at a championship level. They're not where they need to be, and they need to be better. Now, you could say that to the team. You could say it publicly and have people carry the message for you. He chose to go the public route. And these questions are all going to come up as long as they don't win. And now they got Matt Eberflus coming in there. Their former coach. The Bears have lost 6 straight home games. Like, there are a lot of issues that they have to quiet down. And the only thing that stops all that is a W. That's it. They don't win. The noise, all this noise, going to increase. Get louder.
But is the feng shui of the suites going to be good? Remember
That is
Kevin
set.
Warren?
That is it, perfect right now.
Yeah, because Arlington Heights is where. Remember that from Hard Knocks?
Yeah. Mhm.
I watched John Taffer on Bar Rescue, and the people will bottleneck here. But if we do this with this particular direction, we'll have good feng shui. I had no idea Kevin Warren was designing the suites in the stadium as well.
He nailed it.
He's pretty. Yeah, he did. Mm-hmm. If the feng shui is good, maybe they'll be good there. Maybe they're waiting to get to that stadium to be good at football.
Smart.
Or maybe Ben Johnson is just trying to put his. There, we have seen this before, right? Matt Patricia, whenever he went up to Detroit, tried to institute something that didn't end up working out. Cleveland, Mangini went over there. He had like 6 a.m. rookie Oklahoma drills taking place, I think. I heard horror stories about that coming through to our locker room.
Flores, Miami.
Flores trying never really worked out, but there has been obviously places where it has worked out.
Yes.
I
It's
mean,
better than them. It's better that way, right, than letting the team walk all over you.
I mean, if you suck and you never get the whole team to buy
Doesn't
in,
matter
it
either
doesn't
way.
matter either way. So that's what I'm saying. Like, Ben Johnson's going to stay steadfast on who he is from what we've learned. The Chicago Bears obviously paid him a lot of money to be the head coach. We're assuming that they stick with him instead of, like, locker room needs to get on board with Ben Johnson is how everybody feels in Chicago.
No, it's his show there. Like, he's the guy, and he's got a lot of security there, as it should be. He waited a long time for the opportunity that he wanted and that he chose. He chose Chicago, and obviously there are issues to address. That's why he was being hired.
All right, let's talk about some issues to address. Got big money problems happening. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, Shefty, earlier when Tom Brady first became a minority owner of the Raiders, people brought up the, hey, this is a conflict of interest. This cannot happen. And then it kind of just went away until we saw him in the booth on Monday night with a headset on. And then the report came out, hey, he's actually talking with Chip Kelly 5 to 6 times a week, kind of breaking down the game plan and setting up what they're going to be doing on Sundays. And a lot of people weren't happy about it. From what you're hearing around the league or people that you're talking to, is this going to come to a head at some point? Because I assume that most teams think this is bullshit and they're irate about it.
I think there are certain people, like there are coaches that don't like it. But look, here's the deal. Tom Brady's on the production team. He's coming into your building. You can tell him whatever you want or not tell him whatever you want. And Tom is smart enough and has seen enough football that he could scout those players and know what he needs to know about those players without hearing it from the coaches, too. I understand the appearance of it all, the conflict of it all, but I'm not worked up over it like some people are. I don't think it's a huge deal to me. Like, he is a limited partner in the team. If he wants to go sit in the booth with headphones on and can offer
call plays, shit.
go do what he wants to do. It's his team.
Scored 9 points this night.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's in the building. He owns the team.
Might help.
Can't score a damn touchdown. Let me get these headsets. Let me get Chip Kelly. Hey, you need to tighten up. What if he is just doing what Carly Ursay had been doing on the sideline?
Would be
What if Tom just wants to hear what all the coaches are saying? Let me see how they're communicating with each other. Let me see how they're talking. Because he could just be trying to evaluate his own business that he currently runs and currently owns. With that being said, a lot of other teams saying, well, why the hell would we if this guy's strategizing for another team, why would we let him in? And then Ben Johnson came out and said, we don't care.
Yeah.
This is what Ben Johnson had to say about Tom Brady being in the booth and then also having to play the Raiders.
He wasn't the only one.
He's affiliated with the Raiders, obviously, who you play next week. Are you going to do that pre-production meeting and get careful kind of how much you divulge?
I mean, I've been careful everything I've said since the season started. I've been in pure coach speak mode. started.
Big pop.
To me, it's just business as usual. I'm just fine. I like Tom, and we have a really good relationship. So,
to Pat's question on Brady, you've got one of the most competitive people in the history of the sport prying around for information in a very paranoid world. How do you reconcile the conflict of interest that exists with the whole situation?
Yeah, like I said, I'm really not worried about it. I mean, we change week to week in terms of what we do. Schematically, he's going to be able to turn on the tape and see what everyone else in the world's seeing right now. Personnel-wise, really the same thing. It's not like I'm going to sit down with him and tell, hey, don't do this to Caleb Williams or you might get it. Like, I'm not going to, there's not going to be any trade secrets that are going to be exchanged. But I really don't think it's that big of a deal, to be honest with you.
On that note, Schefty, our source have told us that a lot of those meetings with Tom have become coach, coordinator, player, PR person asking Tom questions about what Tom would do in situations or how, like quarterbacks have been taking the opportunity to pepper Tom Brady with questions, and he's been very open, allegedly, wanting to give back to the game. So interesting storyline here that's developing, but with how paranoid all NFL teams are and how paranoid NFL fans have become, especially with what the Patriots have been caught up in, in very public stuff, this is a perfect storyline for some real conspiracy fodder. But I think what the actuality of it right now who knows what 2 years now, 3 years from now, 4 years from now, however long this goes. But right now, I think it's a lot of people getting info from Tom. And what if that production meeting actually becomes Tom spilling the beans on Chip Kelly's?
What we like to do.
It's interesting, Schefty. It really is interesting.
By the way, everybody should be going to him for advice. Everybody in the organization. He can help everybody. Like, he should be helping the coaches on play calls and giving the personnel department ideas on players he likes and talking to the players about being more pliable. Like, there's a reason he's the GOAT, And by the way, Ben Johnson wasn't the only coach. Brian Schottenheimer came out and said he doesn't care what he says to Brady in a meeting, and Sean Payton came out and said he doesn't care. So you're hearing a lot of head coaches. Are there other people who are leery? Sure, there are. I'm sure there are. Big deal. Again, if he's coming into your building, you control what you tell him. Just like if there's a reporter that calls up, like I can ask, hey, what's going on with the draft? They're not going to tell. Well, here's our board, Adam. We're going to okay, but don't tell anybody, right? Like, I mean, you're going to be selective with what you share and who you share it with. Use some discretion. It's not hard.
I appreciate the head coaches coming out being like, let's not talk about how those meetings are going, actually, because, Tom, 2 minutes left. We have one timeout. Okay, what are you I think that is what BA said the same thing. BA was like, this production meetings are all bullshit. They're whatever you want them to be. Literally whatever you want them to be. And we have Coach McCarthy joining us here in the second hour. I'll be excited to hear his take. I assume he's on every coach's side that we have heard. But it is weird having an owner just waltz into a strategy meeting with people. It's first time ever, but Tom Brady's the first ever of who the hell he is. Go ahead, AP Tone.
Yeah, Schefty, I wanted to talk to you about 0-2 teams. I think there's different levels to 0-2 teams, and the top level, everyone I think assumes, is the Kansas City Chiefs, but they are still 0-2 with tough games against the Chargers and the Eagles last weekend. Is there any sort of panic that you're hearing coming out of KC, or is it not panic at all? Because they've started season slow, just like the Patriots used to start some seasons slow, and they're probably going to be there in the end.
Well, I don't think there's panic there, but there are issues that they have to work through and correct to turn it around, because we looked at it since 2000. I think there have been 118 teams that have started 0-3 over the last 25 years. And of those 118, the 2018 Houston Texans turned around and made the playoffs. So, the Chiefs' margin of error is gone, and they're in a division where the Chargers are better than people realize. The Broncos obviously lost last week, but they're expected to have a good season. The Raiders have been tough. So I think they're in a tough division, in a tough conference. You can lose games, and yes, we all know the talent and brains that are there, so we expect them to turn it around. But, if they happen to lose Sunday night in New York to go to 0-3, that's a little bit of a problem. And right now, they're missing explosive players on the offense side of football. It looks like they have a chance to get back Xavier Worthy on Sunday night. Jalen Royals, the rookie wide receiver, could be back. That'll also help some. So they need some reinforcements until Rashee Rice can come back in week 7. But 0-2, you're behind the 8 ball. And so you just feel like you're playing catch up all year long. It's tough physically. It's tough mentally. They've won Super Bowls. They've got a champs mentality. They've got talent. But at 0-2, you've got some things that you got to work through.
Okay, let's go to tonight's game. Talking about things to work through. Here's the full injury report. Do we have it right here as we look? It's week 3.
Jeez.
So anything that we need to look at here? Anything before we make our picks at 12.5 or 11.5 that we need to know?
Well, I think it's interesting that Storm Duck is out for the Dolphins. He was a starting cornerback at a position where they've already been decimated with injuries. And so that's a tough one to lose the number of players that they have.
Storm Duck, perfect name for a Dolphin.
Yeah. Absolute dog.
Hey, Storm, it's a great name, and he's a good player. And they're going to be missing him tonight. The Bills obviously missing those 2 defensive guys, Ed Oliver and Matt Milano. Those are 2 losses for the Bills. Obviously, Jalen Waddle questionable for tonight with the shoulder. They're hoping he goes. We'll see whether or not he's out there. If he's not, then Malik Washington would have to step up, and they'd have to rely on other people. But that Storm Duck one is the one that I think, to me, if I'm a Dolphins fan, worries me.
Okay.
I'm a Dolphins.
All right, we appreciate the hell out of you, Schefter. Thank you for joining us, brother.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Hey, you have a great weekend of football.
You too, my friend.
Numbers
Enjoy
are up. Numbers are up across the board for football as a whole. It's good, Dahn. How about Michigan, Nebraska? How do you feel about that?
Well, do you see the bet that those guys have for this weekend?
The boys. Yeah, not guys. The boys. The busting with the boys. Yeah, the boys. Yeah, the boys.
Somebody's losing their hair. For the team that loses. Somebody's losing their hair.
Yeah, and I think there's a $50,000 donation and also a concession of the 1997 co-title.
Wow.
In this particular game.
Holy shit.
Yeah, obviously Michigan at Nebraska favored by 1.5. Will Compton has to feel very comfortable with this team versus any of the other teams since the Bussin' with the Boys have started the Bussin' Bowl. So this one's the big one. This one's worth $50,000, shaving the whole head, and also a former national championship. This is a big one.
Huge.
Yeah, it's a huge game, Schefty. Good luck to your Michigan team.
Where's College Game Day Saturday, Pat?
We are in Miami, Florida, Miami.
Nice. Okay, great. Well, that'd be fun to go down there for the Florida-Miami game, right?
Yeah, it'd be great.
Schefty, I am pumped to get down. I've never been down to the U. Okay,
Never been there.
I've been to the city of Miami before, yes. Played in a Super Bowl down there. But when you talk about the U, its history to football, its importance to ball, I've never been on their campus down there. I guess we're going to go check it out this weekend. I can't wait. Florida versus Miami. There's some other games.
Sure. A few.
There were some other games that were certainly being chatted about, but I know the people at Miami, from my conversations with them thus far, very pumped to have us down. Very eager to have us down. The juice. I would say that is a good way to describe it.
To the max.
Juice for us to be down there. So that's really what I think is the most important is the fan base pumped for us to be there, because that changes the whole show.
Well, but are they ever not pumped for game day in an area?
Well, you're right. I mean, shout out to the college football fans that show up to game day. We're very thankful for them. But there are some schools that get game day a lot. And I don't want to say that, maybe there has been a little luster lost by some in some places.
Going to Bama in Georgia sucks sometimes.
And even potentially Columbus every once in a while.
State.
Yeah,
No doubt.
every once in a while we'll go there and people are like, because Tennessee, when it was ice cold, took game day, those places get it a lot. So it's they're very used to it kind of being there. So whenever we go to places it isn't normally at, which for instance, last year, Indiana was insane.
That's awesome, right?
James Madison a couple years ago, absurd.
Yeah.
Just absolutely absurd.
Calgary.
Kansas was sick. Berkeley was unbelievable. Now, obviously, big games have to happen those weekends, but Miami, game day hasn't been there since I've been a part of it, so I think there should be some real excitement.
They were great last year.
Now, with that being said, Illinois, Indiana, the place would have won crazy.
Yeah, it's a big game.
I mean, the Bussin' Bowl.
Yeah.
Maybe the Bussin' Bowl would have gone absolutely ham. Missouri, I think, has...
They do, South Carolina.
Yeah, so that was a big one. I think that people... there's obviously big games each week, so there's a lot of conversation here. But I'm excited to get down to Miami. They've seemed to be very eager to have us down there, and obviously showcasing this Miami team, and also I guess Napier's Florida team, because this could be the end.
Yeah,
for sure.
This could be the end if that thing goes the other way. So there's a lot of implications this weekend. But yeah, we're in Miami. It's gonna be hot as hell, Schefty.
My last thing for you before you kick me out of here. How cool, Pat, there's no reason you can't come back and volunteer to punt for the Colts these days. Like, no reason. Just go. Right?
Good one, Schefter. Rigoberto Sanchez, when his time is called. We'll be up 2, fourth quarter, backed up in your own end. Got to flip field because field goal would win it for the other team. Rigoberto's first punt of the season.
Yeah, week 9.
Good luck out there, buddy. Go hit a big one, bro. Need you to hit a big one. He will. He will deliver, just like you do every time. We appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Schefter.
Yeah, Schefter.
Joining us now, one of the coaches of the Bus and Bowl. Ladies and gentlemen, we're incredibly lucky that he's been joining us every single week of this college football season. He's the host of a podcast called House Rules. Ladies and gentlemen, he's a college football coaching legend. He coached in the NFL. And now he loves his time with an undefeated Cornhusker squad, taking on Michigan at home as underdogs. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Matt Rhule.
Yeah, Coach.
How you doing, Coach?
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Life is good. Thank you so much for joining us. How is life over there in Nebraska? Obviously, we've been winning by a lot. We've been setting precedent. Now we got a huge one where you're underdogs at home. What is the mindset this weekend?
I think we're excited. This is an excellent football team coming in. It's the Big Ten opener. And as you said, it's a ranked opponent. It's going to be a crazy atmosphere here. And we think we have a pretty good team. So we're expecting a heck of a game. A lot of fun.
The Bus and Bowl is obviously what this has been dubbed because Taylor Lewan, I think 5-star recruit out of high school, first-round draft pick, incredibly handsome, very tall, represents Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
And Will Compton, the walk-on, undrafted, busted grill, 9-year linebacker special team dog, represents the Nebraska Cornhuskers from the Bussin' with the Boys podcast. Obviously, they've tried to make this a thing for a few years now. This year feels like getting very real in the momentum. And I feel like you guys have your best team for this. And I think Michigan, as being favored, they feel in a good spot as well. Is this the perfect time for the Bussin' Bowl to actually launch into real in-season hype and expectation?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we played the game 2 years ago, and it was, everyone was here. Will was here, Taylor was here, and we didn't. They were a much better team, and it wasn't a very close game. And so, it'll be a great game. It's two really good teams, and it's what the Big Ten should be all about. Good rivalries. We're not too far away from each other. I'm sure they'll bring a lot of fans. Our fans will be ready, and it'll be a great college football game to go along with all the other games.
All right, let's talk about the on-field stuff. Cincinnati was able to run a little bit first night, obviously. Quarterback able to move as well. Is that the big conversation point for your team? Is we're going to have to stop Michigan's run, even though Biff is the acting head coach and he let Bryce spin it a little bit more than maybe Sharon. But we got to stop the run is the only mindset on the defensive side?
Yeah, they're 15th in the country in rushing offense, and to your point, last week, quarterback was the leading rusher. So the things that bothered us against Cincinnati, they ran for 200 yards, and over 100 of that was the quarterback. Just Sorsby from Cincinnati dropped back and found a hole and ran, and we didn't have a great answer for it. Obviously, that hasn't hurt us the past 2 weeks, but we're facing a whole different animal now. And so, big physical O-line. That's what Michigan football is, right? They're gonna run the ball and stop the run. It's true Big Ten football, and now they have a quarterback who can also run. So our guys are gonna have to defend the run and defend the quarterback run, to play well.
Have you seen Bryce at Big Ten days? Have you seen this 17-year-old as of a month ago, now 18-year? Have you had eyes on this guy in real life?
No, I haven't. It's weird now with the Big Ten because there's 18 teams. They do 3 days, and they do I think 6 teams each. Of the 5 other teams than us, the only team that we played while we were there was Maryland. It was Rutgers. It was Ohio State. It was a bunch of teams that we don't even face this year. So it's really like the NFL, man. You don't know who you're going to face. Even the Bussin' Bowl, we faced him 2 years ago, not last year. We faced him this year. It's a rotating schedule, but he's really talented, elite recruit. And he's done a great job for them. We think we have a really good quarterback too, and so excited to go compete.
Yeah, tell me about Dylan. Obviously, this is the biggest game of the year. Much more comfortable where he's at. Emmett, obviously, a dog in the backfield. Tell us about your offense a little bit, taking on this Michigan defense with, a defense that hunts over there in Michigan. Always going to bring a lot of different disguises and everything like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's Wink Martindale. You know, I mean, he's one of my favorite coordinators in the National Football League. He's brought it to college. I mean, they're elite up front. They can blitz. They can show a bunch of different stuff to you. But you know, we have a really smart quarterback in Dylan. He can try to get us in the right play. He can try to get us in the right protection when he's fooled. He's done a great job. You know, he's completing 70-some% of his passes, yet he hasn't thrown an interception, and really only one that even had a chance to be intercepted. So he's a really, really smart football guy. You would love him. He's a football guy. He's in here all week studying. Like last week, we finished the game last week. I went to Vegas to watch Bud Crawford, and he's texting me pictures of him in his house. He's already watching Michigan. He's trying to outwork me, and so I respect our quarterback Dylan quite a bit. So it'll be a great chess match, him versus that Michigan defense with what they do.
Hey, Coach, hope you're enjoying Allegiant Stadium in big Las Vegas. This is what I got going on. How about Bud? Obviously a Nebraska guy. Anybody can be a nobody. We had him on the show earlier this week, and he was talking about how everybody doubted all the people that he fought in his record, and he basically said anybody can turn into a nobody whenever he looks at it. And I seen you kind of adopted that as well with the messaging that you're sending the players. I think that your strength coach was talking about it in your office.
Yeah, no doubt. Since I've gotten here, you know, I've always known who obviously Terrence Bud Crawford is, but getting to know him, I mean, he's elite. He talked to the team last year, let us out against Colorado, and literally there was no chance we were going to lose once he spoke to the team and he started walking up that tunnel. I was like, man, this is different here. You know, pound for pound king. And then, you know, I went to his send off, and he had so much respect for Canelo. He was talking about how they're both first ballot Hall of Famers. Yet when they went to the weigh-in, I showed our team. He wasn't talking about if I beat him, if this, if that. I mean, he risked his whole legacy. He was talking about when. You know, when. He's never even been knocked down. And so we went to that fight, man. I was so fired up, so happy. You talk about a big day for the Cornhuskers, man. I mean, he's got the Nebraska N on his mouthpiece as he's fighting. You know, we go backstage afterwards and see him, and all his guys are all wearing Husker red. I mean, he's loyal. And so it's a great message for our guys, man. No stage is too big for you when you put the work in and you believe in yourself.
Oh, I love that. Coaches being able to utilize anything for their own motivation, for their own team hype is glorious, let alone when you got the guy literally in your backyard. I was talking to people that were in the boxing world a little bit, and they're like, hey, you know, Canelo moved. He's, he's living his life. He's had a couple $100 million for a long time. Maybe things a little bit different. Bud still lives in Omaha. He's got 7 kids. Like, he is, still, I don't want to say in the grind, but still very much like doesn't even realize basically the money or hasn't done any of that. And I picked Canelo to win because I thought he was heavier on the show. I did that. And I got a call that night from like 3 people that were like, yo. Bud still. Did you see Bud? Did you see what he looked like at the weigh-in? Have you heard the way he's talking? It's like, and he's American. We need him right now. It's like, I messed up. And then you watch that fight, and it's like, in the 9th round, Bud wasn't scared of shit. Bud was like, let's go. No. Let's go. He's heavier. He should be a harder puncher than he's ever faced. Yeah, let's go dance here. I could lose the entire fight just with one catch, and instead he stepped right into the fire. It's like massive respect for both of them, but also definitely for Bud. And we saw that end.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. We saw that end a lot. In the biggest fight of the century, they're calling it. And right on the mouth. I mean, it's a cool thing for the brand. Good for you. Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, Coach, you have one of the best play callers in the country, if not the best player caller in the country, a veteran in Dana Holgerson. But it was a very rare move. You brought him in, I think it was week 11 last year. How big was that for him and Dylan to get some actual live game experience last season before spring ball, before summer, and then the offense looks like it's flourished this year?
Yeah, no one had ever really done it. We lost to UCLA a week after playing pretty well against Ohio State, and I called them and said, "Hey, I need you here. I need you to get this fixed. The guys are working hard, but we need something moving forward." And so I think it was pivotal because Dana had to decide if he wanted to be here this year, and he finished that year out and he said, "Yeah, I'm all in for this. Like, can him and I work together?" And it's been an unbelievable relationship. And then he and Dylan. I mean, every team in the country came in and recruited Dylan. Hey, come play for us. Come play for us. And he believed in what we're doing. He's a Husker, but he also believed in Dana. And so I think that time, and then we kept the staff. Like I said to Dana, do you want to change anybody out? How do you feel? And he's like, no, I like these guys. They're good coaches. We'll make this work. And so it's to me, it's been a unusual move, but one I'm glad we made because everyone came back this year and we're significantly better.
I bet Dana loves just being able to focus on the offense side of the ball than all the bullshit that comes with being a head coach too at this stage of his career.
Yeah, a couple of times I've said to him, like, what do you think? And he'll give me both perspectives. Like, well, you could do this, do this. But that's your job now. He walked away.
Where's
He's
my
so
Red Bull?
happy.
Where's my Red Bull at? That's
right.
Let me go ahead and do that. I got to worry about one side of the ball for you. That sounds like a you problem right there, buddy. I've been there before. He was great offensively for West Virginia and obviously down to Houston, and him just being able to lock in on that without having to deal with all the politics and all the handshaking and everything like that feels like it's great for him. Sounds like it's great for you as well. Connor has a question for you, Coach.
Coach, with the last 2 weeks being not cupcakes, but teams that aren't ranked like Michigan, it feels like, the videos we saw of you were very rah-rah, getting the team going, making sure they stay locked in. Is it different this week when you're playing in Michigan where everyone is kind of, zeroed in, laser focused at all times because it is such a tall task? And, you did just mention right there Bud Crawford leading Nebraska out, and you went to Bud's match last week. Can we expect Bud maybe to lead the Nebraska Cornhuskers out on Saturday?
I don't know that. I mean, I tried to call him the other day, and he's like, "Hey, I got the McAfee Show right now, bro. I don't." People have reached out to me. I mean, I'm talking about superstars that don't know me, but they're called someone out. What he's done is, to your point, it's a fight of the century.
Chappelle, front row, going crazy. It's like that's one of the biggest. Yeah, I understand. He's big.
No doubt. I mean, so I don't know how that'll play out. I mean, he's got a lot of things going on, but we know he's the day that he decides to come in, we'll be here ready for him. And I think the thing that the videos that we released, I mean, those were both at halftime. And so to me, leading up to the game, you always have a different approach every week depending on who it is. If I have to sit here and yell and scream about, hey, we better be ready. This is I think everyone here knows what the University of Michigan means, and they know how good of a team this is. We better be pretty locked in. For me, that was about at halftime, being like, hey, this isn't good enough. And, year one, I couldn't have done that, with all the team. Year two, we kind of could, but some guys have been like, why is he saying this? Year three, you see our players. I mean, it's one thing when they show me, but our players are saying, hey, this isn't good enough. And so we understood playing the teams we faced. We're trying to get ready for the Big Ten because the Big Ten is a different animal, and it starts this week. We've been working to get ready.
On that note, Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Coach, I believe the Big Ten is currently 42-5 or something like that in that neck of the woods. And a lot of people, there's
top 15 teams, I think.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. There's still a lot of the talk about, the SEC being the superior conference, and then people were even cherry picking early in the year saying, hey, look at all the cupcakes the Big Ten teams are playing. But every week when you have a game like this, does it almost, because we know who's at the top of the Big Ten currently, and we have a couple teams, you guys are one of those teams who are kind of right there. Does it feel like a lot of these games are almost like playoff eliminators? So because every week in the Big Ten you're going to have a team that, hey, if we don't play well, we're going to get beat, and we might only have one or two opportunities for the rest of the year to actually solidify our chances of being in the playoff.
Yeah, I think the SEC is an elite conference. I think the Big Ten's an elite conference. I think two things can be true, right? I think the one thing that the SEC has done a great job of is they've branded themselves as the SEC. Mm-hmm. And when you look at the last 25 years, I think 4 teams have won national championships. You guys I could be wrong. Yet when we talk about the SEC, we talk about all the other teams as well. It's not just the Alabamas, the Georgias, the LSUs, the Floridas. It's the whole league. And so people, the tier of guys that are 9-3, 10-2, they still get a lot of street cred when we do the voting and all that. You look at Illinois last year, took Penn State down to the wire. They finished 9-3, and they're barely in the conversation. And the Big Ten, we talk a lot about the top 4 teams, but this is I said on a podcast to House Rules, not the free shout out, just joking. But I said Division I football is the only football league where weather doesn't have an impact in the offseason, in the postseason. Like in the NFL, being in Buffalo, being in New England, being in Kansas City when it's cold, you have to play through people's homes. In the FCS, Montana, North Dakota State, those places matter. The Big Ten, man, you gotta go on the road. You got to play in the weather. You got to play in different. We're trying to plan out going to Maryland and coming back and we're going all over the country. And so I think as a league, we have to do a great job of talking about the Big Ten, not just Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Oregon. Those are great teams, but Illinois, Indiana, USC. There's Washington played for the national championship 2 years ago. Hopefully us. I mean, there's a lot of them. So to your point, you don't have a lot of free chances if you're not in that upper conversation, but there's really good teams in the Big Ten. I think the Big Ten's really strong top to bottom.
Yeah, I think the conversation is going to change. I've mentioned this a couple different times. I don't know if you've heard me say it, so if I said it to you, I apologize for repeating myself. But all of a sudden, whenever the ranking happens at the end of the season and the college football playoff is being talked about, we have an SEC team, a good SEC team, traveling into Big Ten. And the style of roster that you have to have in the Big Ten at that time in the most important ball certainly paid off. Going to have to be a little bigger, can't be as fast. You got to have a little bit more physicality. You can't just run 4.3s everywhere because it might be negative 55 degrees or whatever the hell it was at Ohio State for that game. So interesting dynamic, obviously being added into it. Everybody understands the Big Ten and the SEC are at the top. But the Big 12 got Rich Rod. Let's not forget that. And the ACC, we'll see how it goes. Hey, last question here quickly because I need to get your opinion on this. I've talked to a couple different coaches now about the transfer portal going from 2 times a year, both in December, January, and then also in May or April. I forget which one, a spring and a winter one. They've cut it down to just one transfer portal, and it'll be the one in the winter, okay? What are your thoughts on the December, January, in the middle of college football playoff transfer portal being the only transfer portal window? And what are your thoughts on going from 2 to 1? It feels like everybody's on board with that.
Yeah, I think it needed to go to 1. You know, you would negotiate with a player, and all power to the players, but you would negotiate with a player in December, January, and then have to renegotiate 3 months later when there's no, you haven't done anything. So that doesn't happen in the NFL. And so it should be once a year. You make a decision, and then you play that year out. Number 2, and most of the Big Ten coaches wanted it in April and May because, we pay the guys July 1st to June 30th. So in the NFL, like the league year ends, you get paid for the year. We're going to have in college football, we're going to have players getting paid by 2 different teams in the same year. That doesn't make any sense to me. And we're doing it that way because basketballs, everyone's using the same money. So it doesn't make as much sense, but I would have had the portal in the middle of September for all I care to get one portal. It's better for the players. They don't need to be transferring twice or in the spring. I mean, I just think it's way better, but I would have done it in May. I think the playoffs should never be touched by players saying to themselves, am I staying? Am I going? Last year, Penn State's backup quarterback left in the middle of a playoff run because he had to do what was right for him. I'm not saying anything about LeBeau. Just those things shouldn't happen, in my opinion, with the portal. But some really powerful coaches wanted it. They wanted it in January, and no one asked me.
Okay, so on that note, everybody I talked to would have preferred the April-May one. Everybody preferred 2 to 1.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, to only have one. Everybody agreed on that. But everybody, to your point, was like, the one in after spring feels like, so we know what we have, and then also we don't worry about the playoff conversation. Nonetheless, it'll all get figured out, right? Always does.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see.
It always does.
You're the man. We appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, head coach of the Nebraska Cornhusker football team, taking on Michigan this weekend in the Bussin' Bowl, Matt Rhule.
Good luck, coach. Go get him, coach.
Every coach I've talked to has said the spring one.
Yeah, because that's the one that makes more sense.
But it's not just about football, remember?
No, you're right. You're right.
All right, be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change your life. Buy him a Ram truck as well. We'll see you on the other side. Cheers.
We have an opportunity to give away $75,000 to a kid named Daniel Villasenor.
Absolutely.
You're a sophomore, correct?
Yeah.
What is your major?
Civil engineering.
Okay, so what's that mean? What is civil engineering?
I don't really know.
Have you ever kicked a ball before?
I have.
When? Were you a soccer player?
Soccer player, yeah.
Okay, how were you at kicking soccer balls? Pretty good?
I was okay. I was good.
Have you ever said anything negative about football kickers?
Maybe once or twice.
Daniel! Damn, Daniel! We don't need that. You make a field goal here from 33 yards uphill. You're the civil engineer. You'd have to tell me, I think it's about a 40-yard kick. If you're able to do that, we will give you $75,000.
All right.
He's got no laces.
Yeah, what do we got going here? Can we get a shot of shoes?
What time?
Hey, a shot of the shoes.
Daniel showed up in his Vans with no laces. What time did you get here for this?
About 11:40 last night.
You need a lot of power.
Good luck, Daniel.
I'm not feeling it. Not feeling it.
Oh!
Whoa! Wait a second.
Just like everything this morning, that was a surprise. We did not expect that.
Let's go. We got to do one more shot.
One more kick. for $100,000.
You got this, dude.
Let's go. How about this, Daniel? How about this, Daniel? Not only is this one for $100,000, if you make it, we'll add another $100,000 to the $500,000 donation we're about to make from College Game Day to the hurricane relief. It could be $600,000 if you make this, with $100,000 going into your pocket. Daniel, this is bigger than you. Let's make a kick, bro.
Way to overcome the shoes here. That was a heck of an effort. Come on, you got this.
In Berkeley, California.
You got it.
Oh! Hell yeah!
Great job.
Damn, Daniel! Damn, Daniel! All right.
What just happened? Are you kidding me? It's a fun, man. 11:40 he was there.
I know. 600,000 to hurricane relief. 100,000 to Daniel. What a morning in Berkeley. Way to go.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
What?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this NFL Week 3 kickoff Thursday, September 18, 2025. Hour 2 of the program begins now. Football is the greatest sport on earth, and we're so incredibly lucky that we get a chance to chit-chat about it today. The Week 3 of the NFL season will kick off tonight as an AFC East battle will captivate us all. Will the Miami Dolphins show any fight and cover anywhere between a 12.5 and an 11.5 point spread? Or the Buffalo Bills continue to be the team that we all think they could be this year, the most dominant team in the entire NFL? Will the reigning MVP, Josh Allen, continue his back-to-back MVP run? Or will Tua Tagovailoa and Mike McDaniel figure out how to be a football team again and win against the Buffalo Bills and change the trajectory of their entire season, maybe their careers? Mm-hmm. We shall see in front of a captivated crowd up there in Buffalo that'll be celebrating the hell out of the last year in this stadium before they make the big move to the Big Bison Stadium. That is right across the parking lot. Tonight, we're in for one on Amazon Prime. We got Kirk Herbstreit, Al Michaels, and Kaylee Hartung on the call. And then for the kickoff show, dogs everywhere.
And look at everybody.
Richard Sherman's there.
What?
Witt's there.
What?
Fitz there.
What?
Carissa's there.
What?
Tony Gonzalez is there.
What?
And all the other participants.
What?
In which there are many. They always got some gimmicks and games to play.
Yep.
And then in the post show, if you're up after the game, they do a full.
Till like 1, 2 a.m.
That's a full thing there. If you just happen to be a little bit of a night owl, they will certainly take care of you with a nightcap, I do believe. Not that nightcap.
Right.
But Prime's.
Yeah,
Prime. Exactly.
2 shows with nightcap right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I think Prime's is, yeah, you get it. A little different. They're a little
TNF nightcap.
No doubt.
There it is. Vastly different shows, though. That's one half of the hammer. Dahn. Cowboys AP Tone. The Talks the Tables here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. And joining us live from an attic in Ohio, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who's a college football national champion, Super Bowl champion, Ryder Cup winner. Ladies and gentlemen, a man who's in the middle of changing his hairstyle. You can't tell because how good he looks.
Yep.
AJ Hawk.
Yeah.
Hasn't even been a topic of conversation over the last few days. I think we've gotten to a good stage of it all. How you doing, AJ?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing? I really enjoyed the Ram truck advertisements you guys ran a little bit earlier.
Well, We did run that. Yeah, we ran that. That was a pre-recorded advertisement that had to get approved, obviously, by all parties and signed off on. And I'm sure that really moved some Ram trucks today.
I bet it did.
I assume people were going down the line to get themselves a Ram truck. Tonight, though, AJ, AFC East battle. Everything negative, seemingly, about the Miami Dolphins are my thoughts, especially after watching them. Now, the Indianapolis Colts might be the greatest team in the history of football. That is TBD, period. Okay? Not question mark. Not mockery voice.
Okay.
That's actuality, brother. Danny Dimes is on a loaded roster with an offensive guru, but they made the Miami Dolphins look very bad to start the season. Very, very bad. Not a great way to kick off an entire vibe run for a Miami Dolphins team that was maybe entrenched in a little bit of controversy. First time that Tyreek Hill has been on that team, he's not been named captain. Obviously, at the end of last year, there was what it was, where he said, I don't know if I need to be here. Then Tua came out this year during training camp and said, it takes a little time to heal from some things that are said. And it also takes some time to heal from shipping all your Pro Bowlers out of town and seeing if you can be a football team. Jalen Ramsey, Jonnu Smith, Calais Campbell, you name it. Get the hell out of here. We don't need you. How's the team going to be? Well, they start out 0-2, put up a lot of fight against the Patriots last week. Will they do the same against this Buffalo Bills team, AJ Hawk?
I mean, I think they are definitely going to put up a fight. I mean, I think I said a couple of days ago, this is a great opportunity for the Dolphins. That's the way they have to approach this. Yeah, we know they're up against, 12.5-point dogs, maybe even more, depending on where you look. But if the Dolphins, just think of what it could do for their season if the Dolphins find a way to win this game.
Legit.
This is like a turning point. It's a turning point. We're going to go one way or the other. And if this is one of those years that we can hopefully have some kind of success, we'll look back on this week and say, hey, there's where it kind of turned around, and there's where we find a way. We kind of found a way to put it together against a great Buffalo Bills team.
I know we're talking about the season and everything like that, and I don't want to be dramatic. Okay. Not a dramatic person.
No, never happened.
I wouldn't overreact to anything.
No.
Not in the moment at all.
No.
But you're talking about maybe career-saving nights tonight?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you mentioned it. I think if
for a lot of people,
if the Bills throttle the Dolphins, I don't think it's crazy to think that both those guys get fired.
Tua.
Yeah.
I mean,
already Ty? Like this early Ty?
I think.
I don't know. Connor mentioned it earlier. Week 3 is so early, but if it is a drumming on,
I think there's a chance. I really do, especially with how flat they were against the Colts for it being week 1, and then they basically gave away that game last week. If they, like Gumpy said, hey, they just got to be competitive. If they get beat by 28, 4 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns tonight, I think there is a chance that at least McDaniel gets fired.
I think I'm being a little dramatic, but it's very early in the season. But we happen to be around a Dolphins fan, so I think that is why maybe we cover a little closer.
Could be.
It's just like the Detroit Lions before they became the brand new Lions, and they were still the same old Lions. We covered the Lions strictly because Foxy, who is here, was a Lions fan. So I would like to watch this Lions team so that I can understand what mood he's going to be in and maybe talk shit to him about what's going on with his emotions and feelings. So we've been covering this Lions transition and change throughout the very close.
Long time.
I'd say closer than anybody that has had, although we were just a small regional show, much closer following of the Detroit Lions here over the last 5 years than anybody else. I will say that other than local media talking about the Lions.
You guys witnessed the heartbreak that Lions fans went through for all those years. You understood it, so then now they're good. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a brand new Lions. Now, with the Dolphins, it's the same thing with Gumpy. And, boy, I remember the excitement when this era was starting.
Oh, my God.
Trading for everybody, signing everybody.
They're going to win a playoff game.
Paying people. Remember, there was rumors, all alleged. We did not make this up. This has been reported out there. There was rumors that maybe the owner was trying to lose games for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
This came out after the season, a season in which Gumpy, who's a Dolphins fan, said, it feels like they're trying to lose. So then when the owner comes out, allegedly was potentially, this is all reported, we are not making this up. This was alleged. We did not, this is the thing, was telling the coach, I'll pay you more money, you lose some games.
$100,000.
Okay? So the fans have to go through that. Fans have to be like,
don't even want to win.
What do we?
What the
Can we get some money maybe for us trying to lose? How does this even become a thing? Not saying it's real. I'm just saying it was talked about. So for that moment, from that moment of Gumpy's fandom, okay, when it's like, I knew it, they're definitely trying. They're not trying to win. That's, of course. Then that gets debunked, goes to court, whatever the case is, kind of disappears. Whatever happens there, I don't know. Other stuff started coming up, getting a little bit more prevalent in that particular story. But from Gumpy at that moment of life when that was being alleged, once again, not real, I don't know. Actually, we don't know. Do we know?
Not sure. No.
Probably never find out.
Yeah, I don't. Not real. We'll say it wasn't real.
Allegedly, yes and no.
It wasn't real. Okay, we'll say it wasn't real. But at that moment when it was being reported, Gumpy was down here. I committed my whole life.
They're not even going to say I'm sorry.
Yeah, not one time.
No.
What's that about? This team I've given so much to. They're down here. Then McDaniel, Tyreek Hill. They pay him the most amount of money in wide receiver.
Yeah.
We're not paying money to lose. We're paying the most money for a weapon on the offensive side so we can be explosive. So that ride, just watching him go from the depths of hell all the way to euphoria, Dahn. And then now what we're staring down week 3 with this team is just, it's heartbreaking for our guy Gumpy. And he painted too many ships for him to be this heartbroken week 3 in my eyes. I think that he probably represents not all Dolphins fans, but at least some Dolphins fans that are like, man, are we ever going to get it right tonight? I guess we find out if they can correct it or if we're on a path to full rebuild.
Yeah, and that's what stinks too, is like that taking, us back all the way there when it was the Flores situation was crazy, because then I remembered the first initial McDaniel thing. Like, Gumpy wasn't sure about Tua, really. No one really was, because he wasn't getting a fair shot. McDaniel comes in. He's like, hey, you're the guy. Like, I'm going to make you great. Tyreek Hill. They also signed that year was the number one free agent was the left tackle, Teron Armstead. They signed Armstead. They got a good old line. All of a sudden, like, going back to that time.
Trading Jalen for Ramsey.
Traded for Bradley Chubb that year during the season.
God, like
had it all. Had it all.
When did it go bad, though? When did it start going bad?
Last year, right? Last year, the end of the season, I think, is when it really started. That's a good question, AJ. Would that be when it was, Gumps?
Yeah, Tua's record over the last 16 games has not been good. Like actually, every other season, you could say if Tua was hurt, we were bad. Whereas the last little while, even if Tua's healthy, we are bad. Like, we haven't been a good football team. That is the biggest worry. This is the first time in as long as I can remember all the Finns faithful agree everybody's pissed.
Okay, I like that.
Like, usually there'd be like some people love Tua, some people hate Tua. The whole fans, all of them are pissed at everybody.
Did I see Tua on that mountain?
He was at the top.
Tua was on Cuck Mountain.
Yeah,
You've seen a lot of Tua.
The tweet actually said enough is enough. He's finally made it to the top.
Was I on that mountain at one point?
Years and years ago. Yeah.
I was on that mountain at one point, which means I am enemy number 1, basically, of the Finn fan on the internet, basically. That's what it felt like, at least whenever I got put on there. It was an honor to not be mentioned amongst the Mount Rushmores of Cuck Mountain down there in the Finns fan anymore. It was nice that I got out of there because I did become a believer, because I think you became a believer. They put Tua on there now. So
wow.
That's
how you know.
That's how you know.
It's over.
Yeah. That's how you know. It's like, big one tonight. Big one. Go Dolphins.
Huge. Oh, man.
What's that?
Just going back through it again, not to mention just like the ups and downs of the concussion stuff. Like that
jiu-jitsu.
Did you like going all the way back to like when it started with Josh Allen to the prime time with the Bengals where he got slammed by the D tackle? Like, it has been quite the ride. And then he came back from that too. It sucks, but they're going to show fight. 12.5.
Yes, they are. We are Tua fans. We are Dolphins fans. It has not looked good, but almost beat the Patriots last week.
I GPT'd earliest firing since 1990. Scott Linehan for the Rams was fired after 0-4 start in 2008. Dennis Allen, 0-4 start in 2014. Joe Philbin, a 1-3 start in 2015. And Bill O'Brien, an 0-4 start in 2020.
Okay, so it feels like you're going to make it at least 4 games.
Philbin was in Miami as well. That was him getting fired by
And is that when MCDC went in interim?
Yeah, I believe so. I'm not positive.
All right, wild times, obviously. Dolphins had MCDC in the building.
Let him go.
And Ben Johnson.
right
too.
there.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, we'll see how that all goes. We have some breaking news, AJ.
What happened?
What happened? Greatness.
Yeah, I'm trying to ask.
Greatness happened. Do you remember the announcement of the WWE and ESPN partnering? The world's greatest entertainment company, sports entertainment company, going with the worldwide leader in sports, finally coming together to become a superpower partnership of sports and entertainment. Do you remember that announcement?
I do remember.
So then you know that WrestlePalooza this weekend in Indianapolis, Indiana at Gainbridge Fieldhouse is kicking off this partnership, and it's going to be a massive night. You know that, right?
Yes.
The show starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the ESPN app. WWE is bringing it in a big way. John Cena, Brock Lesnar on the marquee.
Yep.
You have, in a lot of people's eyes, the greatest of all time in John Cena. A man who had a 20-plus year run at the top where he didn't miss a show. An absolute workhorse. A man who is absolutely shredded. Goes from being a guy laughed at, basically, who worked his ass off, to becoming the guy in the business for over 2 decades. Then obviously goes into Hollywood, takes over, does his thing. He's on his last run right now. And the WWE world is saying thank you to him all across the world. That's because he has done such amazing things. The guy he's taking on, the alpha male of our species. A man who was so fucking good at wrestling that he got to the top of it, maybe at the youngest and the quickest in the history of WWE. Then whenever he conquered WWE, he said, in my body, in my mind, he's built to do more. What do I need to do? Oh, I'm gonna go try out for the NFL. Ran a 4.4 in jeans. Becomes a D tackle, never playing the sport before, for the Minnesota Vikings. All parties agree, if you were to put about a year of work into this, 2 years of work into this, you could potentially become like a Hall of Fame NFL player, even though you've never played the sport before. He goes, oh, thank you, and then he decides that I'm going to go and do the UFC. Becomes their world heavyweight fucking champion and beating people up. His arms are so long. His hands and fingers actually dangle and touch his shins whenever he's walking around. He's built to be a destroyer. He knows that, and he has executed that. He's become a GOAT in multiple places. And him and Cena are going to be battling for one last time here in Indianapolis, Indiana. And it's going to be must-watch. It's going to be show-stealing. It's going to be something that's talked about for generations and generations. And that fight will be taking place at the top of the show. Kicking off the ESPN WWE era will be John Cena versus Brock Lesnar here at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. This is obviously gigantic. What a way to start. The best partnership I've ever seen and the smartest partnership I've ever seen between ESPN and WWE, and also 2 GOATs going at it. So that's breaking news, AJ, and I'll let you kind of digest that and take that all in, but just know 7 p.m. Saturday, it's coming out with a bang, brother.
Hell yeah. Hey, do we know if the roof and the window will be open?
It's a Gainbridge Fieldhouse.
Come on, boy,
I assume the roof of Gainbridge legends are going to go in the stadium.
So listen, this would be a stadium match. This is a stadium match.
Yes.
These two are a stadium match.
Oh, yeah.
WrestlePalooza, though, in Indianapolis has not, I mean, we had Triple H on, what was that, last week, and he was like, hey, ESPN had a date. They asked if we would be able to do a show. We certainly love that idea. Here we go. So I don't know if stadium was pitched or presented, but whatever the case, this is a stadium. This is a history box office. This is a must-watch fight, and it'll happen to kick off the entire partnership. That's good shit.
Let's go.
That's good shit.
Yeah.
That's good shit. 7 p.m.
Kick off the show, right? So boom, they're coming out first.
Yeah.
Good move.
Boom.
Yeah.
Genius.
Yeah.
That whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
And then John Cena, I love the way he's coming out with the black screen.
Oh, yeah.
And then we're dropping it into the...
Yep.
I wonder if it will be.
What?
I wonder if he goes old school. Just goes no black screen.
Oh, you're talking about him going thugonomics?
Going all the way back.
Yeah, if he comes out with the chain and the hat, that'd be sick for sure. I mean, your time is up. His time is down.
That's right.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Anything can
That's
happen.
what he said.
That's WrestlePalooza football. Anything can happen.
What if he comes out as Peacemaker? I mean, there's...
Oh, my, and he just shoots him in the head.
Ricky Stanicki, maybe? I mean, there's not...
Yeah.
I think John Cena is probably going to be the one that shows up. But anything is possible.
Is Dahn going to be here?
Yeah.
Danny Dimes, Saturday night?
He's going to be screaming.
He's more of a
Thank
Sunday
you, Senna
night
in the
go,
crowd.
oh, God.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he sent his manager for this one as in like an honor being in Indiana.
Welcome to the city.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming to the city, says Danny Dimes. I respect that. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a Super Bowl champion head coach. He's from Pittsburgh, which obviously makes us love him immediately. He is currently enjoying a year off from head coaching after coaching the Dallas Cowboys. What does the future look like? We don't know, but we're appreciative that he joins us every single week. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, go!
Hey, gentlemen.
Coach, you see John Cena, Brock Lesnar leading off that show. You all right with that, or what are your thoughts?
I'm heading to Indy as soon as I get done here.
Hell yeah. Good place.
Hell of a night.
We would love to have you here, obviously. We're very pumped that you're coming. I'll let the WWE know. You might be You might be sitting right. You might be in the ring.
Might need you. Yeah, go in. Get in there.
Might have you in the ring. You want to slide in there and maybe hit the ropes a little bit. Coach, thank you for joining us. Week 3 obviously kicks off tonight. AFC East battle. 12.5-point spread now at ESPN Bet and multiple other books. I don't even think you can get 11.5. 12.5 feels like a lot of points for a division game on a Thursday night. How do coaches view these short weeks? And if you're these coaches, what is your messaging to your team?
Well, I mean, I've always liked the short week because, I think particularly when it doesn't go great on the prior Sunday. But, yeah, this is a tough one here because, division game, like you've already stated, Thursday night, Miami going up to Buffalo. But, you look at the numbers and you watch the first 2 games. I mean, Buffalo is really rolling right now. I mean, just the way the ball distribution, Josh Allen's playing at an MVP level. I just like the way their defense is coming on. You can see that at the end of the Ravens game, and then obviously last week. So, and Miami's they've turned the ball over a little bit. So, I definitely think this is a favorable game for Buffalo, but that's a lot of points.
Go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, Coach. Let's say you're trying to defend Josh Allen in this offense. What can you do? Like a quarterback like Josh that is so dynamic, can beat you so many different ways. What are you telling your defense to do to try to contain this guy?
Well, it's twofold. I mean, they do such a good job of staying on time. When I watch them play, they're in sync. I mean, this is an offense that's played a lot of ball together, and I think that's really, things I always watch for in September football. You look at the teams that are playing well offensively. It's usually, illustrated by a group of men that have some time on task together, and they look really, really sharp. But his ability to extend plays, and when you got quarterbacks that can, exit through the A gaps or exit through the B gaps, extend plays, and obviously turn them into huge gains. I mean, they're tough. That's a tough task for the defense, especially early in the year. Defenses, their timing, the rush lane discipline, all those things, part of that September football. Miami's going to have it tonight because he's going to make plays, and then the other part of it, he can throw to any spot on the field. He can make any throw out there. So I just been so impressed with him the first 2 weeks.
Josh Allen, reigning MVP of the NFL. Every offseason, he's only gotten better. This offseason, he got married. We'd obviously like to congratulate him for that, but he's also gotten better somehow. This Buffalo Bills team, very fun to watch. And on the flip side, people are saying the Dolphins have gotten worse. Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Coach, I remember a couple years ago in Dallas when you guys were in a little bit of a rut, you went with the Gallagher gimmick, and you started smashing watermelons in the locker room. We all heard about it. We all loved it.
That's right.
When there is this much negative surrounding a team like there is the Dolphins right now, would you encourage Coach McDaniel, hey, maybe smash a few watermelons in the locker room, get the boys going, or is it a little early to bring out something like that?
Well, in honor of the great Gallagher, he was 2-0 in my time in Dallas. So
rest in peace, by the way, great Gallagher.
Yeah, rest in peace. Yeah, rest in peace. But no, actually that was during the pandemic times too. So we were probably caged up a little bit, too much, just thinking about it too much probably. But no, I think that you have to have fun. You got to keep the energy up. I mean, that is so important. All part of the group dynamics in the challenges of every single year. So, yeah, I think the most important part is you want these guys clear-minded. But, Miami's going to have to go. It's a division game. These division games are always tight. We talked about this a little bit last week. September division games, I think, are a real challenge. So they're going to have to really do a good job taking care of the football. And as you know, Buffalo just looks so good right now. So, and Miami's going to have to shorten the game, win the time of possession. The first 2 weeks they've been on the wrong side of the time of possession. But division games are usually tight. Like I said, that's a lot of points to give up to a division opponent.
Why is the division game normally tight thing? Because don't rosters change every year? Like, why is it always? I mean, we were a part of them with the Colts. They were always tight. And it's always like, well, exactly what the person's going to do. You play them so much. But what if it's a new OC, new DC? What if it's a new coach? Not that it is in this particular case. But why is it is it the vibe of the game just feels bigger so people are a little tighter? Like, is it the knowledge of the other team that just naturally comes from playing each other so much?
I mean, personally, they're my favorite games of the year. I mean, they are the best games of the regular season. I mean, I know as a coaching staff, you always put time, into the division games in those June weeks before you go on vacation. They just carry so much more weight. Plus the fans, the tradition, the rivalries, all that play into it. So there's nothing like the division games. I know there's so much made of the night games and so forth, but the division games, just the competitive spirit is always high. You know each other fairly well, even like you've stated with the change of rosters. I mean, there's definitely a familiarity to your division opponent.
What's behind you there, Coach? What do we got? The photo.
Oh, Roberto Clemente.
That's it right
a
there.
little look in your hometown, yeah.
Yeah, I love
Roberto
that.
Clemente bridge, my favorite all-time professional athlete.
Hell yeah.
Is that your favorite bridge?
Is it my favorite bridge? Okay, that's a good question. I'd have to say the Homestead High Level Bridge.
Oh, good pick.
That's a good one.
That's
Closest one to the highest.
Yeah, of course, Dahn area, obviously.
There's a beer distributor right at the end of it.
Pittsburgh, actually, most bridges of any city. Pittsburgh.
In the world, right? Isn't that the world record?
In the world. Bridges everywhere. I mean, it's architectural engineering marvel as you walk around town. That one right there, though, leads to a lot of good times.
Yeah, it does.
And that one's named after a phenomenal human in the history of sports. Go ahead, Tone.
Yeah, Coach, we were talking about Daniel Jones earlier this week and how great he was against the blitz, against the Broncos. And we talked about it with Bruce Arians a little bit and A.Q. Shipley. And they were saying, like, some of these teams, they don't have sight adjustments anymore, and they don't have hots. I was asking you, like, overall, is that what separates a good quarterback from a great quarterback, is against the blitz, knowing your sights, knowing your hots, and is that why young quarterbacks sometimes tend to struggle coming into the NFL?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a great point. I think schematically, when you do put together an offensive system, we always talk about proactive adjustments, and some teams don't believe in having sight adjuster or a hot system built in. It's more, make the protection adjustments. So it kind of varies scheme to scheme, but definitely that's something that when you go back and you look at the training and training camp, because the live work, the live teamwork. Because the speed of the pressure is so important for developing a quarterback. Flipping to the other side of the ball, and I learned this from Dom Capers back in 2009 when he came to the Packers. We were talking about the preseason. How much pressure to run in the preseason versus not showing your pressure and just playing coverage and standard defense. And the point that he always made, which I still see that's true, and I obviously used it on the other side of the ball offensively, is the defensive players got to learn to play to the speed and the time clock of pressure defense. So having pressure defense for a young quarterback in the training component is critical. And I think that's probably, along with I think Bruce's comments, is a key to their development.
Can you tell me a little bit about confidence and what that can do for a quarterback, especially when you come out like Danny Dimes, new home? Obviously, a lot of shit has been said about you. And then the first 2 weeks, you're playing damn near perfect football. Your choices, your options are all right. Your throws, all on the money. Your decision-making on when to run, seemingly right. You're taking huge shots, you're bouncing right back up. It's like, that's a great way to start a new relationship in life, but definitely with a new team, right? Confidence has to be a weapon for Danny Dimes and Shane Steichen at this point?
No, absolutely. I mean, and you get the big win over there in Denver, too, is awesome. No, confidence is really what it's all about. That's what moves the needle. That's what moves the needle for the player. That's what moves the needle for the offense, the defense, and ultimately moves the needle for the team. And then the fans and everything, the external energy increases. But I'm really happy to see his success. He's had some tough moments, but I always thought he was an excellent prospect, both in the pocket and out of the pocket. And it's great to see him have the success he's having in Indianapolis.
Was it against you we saw him just running, striding out? Was that against? It feels like it was on primetime games, which is normally against.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the 1 year he had 3 touchdowns over 50 yards. I mean, he can run. No, he can definitely run. But
Yeah.
I just think he needed a little more time in the pocket in the earlier days because he definitely has that ability.
Our source
Says
close to Danny Dimes tell us that he's only 28 years old. The body feels like it's only getting faster. So enough with the wow surprise, you can still run stuff. Because this weekend against Denver, defensive end or outside linebacker, I don't know who it was, within a foot of him, he switches gear, gets around this guy. Like, it looked like Tyreek Hill, kind of like getting out of a phone booth almost. And it was right in front of us. And I'm like, I didn't know Danny Dimes still had that. And then I was told promptly, 28 years old, what are we talking about? He's still young.
And he got blasted before. We've seen him get crushed and pop up too.
Yeah, he's really hitting his climax here. And so are we. You know what I mean? Just like those glory holes. We're always looking for those glory holes. Right down there in Dallas, I've learned. The glory hole is what we're all seeking, right? Is that right? I heard Jerry Jones say that, Coach.
Are we jumping to the oil business now, Pat? Or
I'll tell you what, after learning I could buy an $800,000 rig and potentially make $100 million off one, I certainly thought about it. I've certainly thought about it. I don't know how the modern age is with oil, and I don't know if we're trying to find it still. I think we should. Sounds like it's the right move. But if I could get one of those rigs to get down there and cough like any mammal would, and then start to bleed, and then start to hiss, and start to howl out, and I knew it. I said, we found it. There's a glory hole down there, and this $800,000 rig just penetrated that thing beautifully. You never know what's on the other side. You never know.
No, you don't.
Because you might run into something you don't want to run into down there. That's why I keep your eyes off it. But every once in a while, you find that glory hole, and magic starts happening for everybody, right? That's what we're doing with Dallas Cowboys, that we're trying to do?
you talking with the Cowboys or with the oil? The glory hole? Yeah, I mean, that's,
Go ahead.
I don't know you're asking me. I don't want to get in trouble.
You know more. Whoa! We're talking about an oil glory hole.
Well, I'm going back to the production meetings. I'm sorry.
Okay, jeez. Jerry, KJ, what is this guy's problem? We're talking about Jerry Jones this week on a radio show. He explains what a glory hole is. Please run this from 105.3.
Okay, well, I haven't seen this. Yeah.
105.3, The Fan. Glory hole talk.
Jerry, his agent said, really, I'm getting him signed over there because I want to know Jerry's definition of glory hole and if it's the same as mine. That came from Jadavion's agent. So could you just clarify that for him?
Well, he knows it's an oil field term. Comes from out when you're in the business of drilling wells, and it's when you've basically made a big well, and if mentally or physically picture just drilling a well and all of a sudden having all the oil start coming out at once and going in the air, and that's when you've known you've hit a glory hole.
Jerry,
Coach, how many times have you been either forced or heard the glory hole reference or metaphor to your football team down there in Dallas? Bring a guy in, we struck glory hole with this guy. Is that used on a regular basis? Is the oil terminology used on a regular basis down there with the Cowboys with Jerry Jones?
Yeah, definitely. No, it's definitely a term, and it's part of his great storytelling and analogies. Both the oil business and the pro football. Yes. Definitely, I've heard it a number of times.
So you have had to utilize the words glory and hole as motivation to a locker room in the NFL?
Well, a lot of things that are said in the locker room stay in the locker room.
Oh, yeah, of course. Of course. That's a good call.
Yeah, hopefully. So AJ can help me out here. But, yeah, so definitely. I think everybody that's worked there has heard the term glory hole.
Okay, I never heard it before this one. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, I never heard it. But, things aren't always staying in that locker room. As soon as your mallet hit that watermelon, we learned of it.
Yeah.
So, we need to keep this shit tight. We need to keep the sheep a little bit tighter out there. Now, can we talk about the rooms that you do have and the rooms you have to monitor as a coach? In the most important position, we got a lot of question marks going into this week. Go ahead, Con Man.
Yeah, Coach, a lot of backup QBs playing. We got Mac Jones for Purdy, Carson Wentz going for J.J. McCarthy, Jake Browning going for Burrow, possibly Mariota for Jaden Daniels, and Tyrod Taylor going for Justin Fields. You were basically dominating with Cooper Kush when he was playing for you guys when Dak was hurt a few years ago. What is it like coaching and preparing for a team when you know you're going to be having your backup quarterback going in? And are you asking for some of your superstar players, maybe even your defense, to step up, have a big week? Or is it kind of, hey, let's keep this thing rolling, this is a train, let's just get the backup in there and continue to play?
Yeah, definitely. I would say it's part of the rhythm of the season. I mean, the 17-game season is real, and 16-game seasons. I mean, to see quarterbacks go through a whole season. I mean, that's the most important statistic for any starter in the NFL, let alone the quarterback position. As we all know, is the most important position. So, yeah, when you talk about the backup quarterback position, I mean, philosophically, I think it goes back to your roster development. In the old days, sometimes you like to have a different athletic profile to your quarterback and maybe have a change-up. I personally always try to prefer the skill sets to be as similar as they can. because, with the training regiments and being able to train, all three quarterbacks, hopefully a fourth one in the room is so important. And I go back to the quarterback room. You have your starter, then you have your number two and your number three. They all have responsibilities, during the off season, during training camp, and ultimately in season. So quarterback rooms are critical. Who you have in that room, as far as coaching, the diligence that go into it, you're really preparing yourself for this situation, back when the off-season program starts, in my opinion. So it's all about the quarterback room, and I think every one of these guys that, they're going to have their opportunity come Sunday, and they'll have the support not only the quarterback room but the whole football team. Some of the best leaders that I've come across have been backup quarterbacks before they got their ultimate opportunity as a starter.
Can you talk about that a little bit more? Whenever we had Andrew Luck, we had Matt Hasselbeck as the backup quarterback, and he acted like a buffer almost for Andrew as he was kind of finding his way in the entirety. Obviously, you had success with Andy Dalton as your backup quarterback for Dak. Cooper Cush obviously had a good run. Cooper Rush, sorry about that. Cooper Rush had a good run with you. But having that veteran leader-type person as a backup quarterback, outside looking in, some people can say, is there going to be a little conflict here on who's alpha in room? What have you experienced with maybe two top dogs in the same quarterback room?
Well, I've been so blessed throughout my career to experience it so many different times. Back in 1993, my first year, you had Joe Montana as a starter, but Dave Craig was the backup. And Dave was incredible. I mean, David played so much football and is successful right up there in Seattle and so forth. So they complemented each other, so very well. So and Joe missed games. Dave stepped right in there. Later in Kansas City, we had Rich Gannon backing up both Steve Bono and Elvis Gerback. And, and then he went on to a phenomenal, stretch over there with the Raiders. I had Matt Hasselbeck as a young guy as a backup to Brett in Green Bay. So many times, Aaron Brooks is a young guy behind Jeff Blake. Jeff goes down, he steps up. Aaron goes down, here comes Jake Delhomme. So I've just been very blessed to have so many guys that were ready to go, bought into the system of always being ready, the development of, each quarterback through quarterback school, which was a different era back then. You were able to spend more time with them. So I've experienced it on a number of different opportunities, and the latest is obviously in Dallas with Cooper Rush. He actually did it for us 2 times, both in 22 and 24.
Do you think you're the first guy that all those backup quarterbacks had ever heard speak with a Yinzer accent?
It's a good shot because, it's something I had to be conscious of, during the week because, as a head coach, you kind of, don't always want to have to be in charge of calling plays, particularly in the headset. You like to be more, mobile on the practice field, but I was told I had an accent and probably they needed to hear me. So, but yeah, there's a pretty good shot.
Yeah, I love just the thought. Aaron Rodgers talked about a couple times about you calling plays in the headset with the Yinzer accent, just sounding so. I couldn't even imagine how spectacular that had. Myron Cope dropping a play call into Aaron Rodgers.
Myron Cope.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
Yeah, you
are old school today.
Yeah. We're paying our respects. Roberto Clemente.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Joe DiNardo.
Joe DiNardo, rest in peace.
Joe DiNardo.
Miss you, Joe.
Rest in peace.
Jeez, God.
He's the greatest Doppler operator of all time.
He is.
Yep, rest in peace, Joe.
Oh, wow.
We appreciate you, Joe.
Love you, Joe.
Appreciate you, Joe.
That's strong right there.
Hey, Joe said it would, and it did. Shout out to Joe. Rest in peace, Joe. Ty has a question for you about what you just talked about, actually.
Yeah, Coach, of all those situations, when you look at San Francisco, a lot of people have been saying, hey, especially the way Mac Jones played on Sunday against New Orleans, if he continues to do that and he looks really good, and we know that Kyle Shanahan initially, when they traded up to number 3 a couple years ago, it was because he wanted Mac Jones. And then, through discussions and whatever happens, they ended up going with Trey Lance. Is there ever a situation you can remember, or do you think Shanahan might be going through this right now, where you almost get enamored with the backup quarterback because he's playing so well, and it makes it a little bit harder to go back to whoever your starter was?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, they're really focused on winning games right now. But going back to the draft process, it's something that I learned from Ron Wolf back in 1999. and he always talked about always trusting your grade on a player, and the irony for Mac to come back around and then for Kyle and the 49ers to now get him as part of their team. I think you have to trust the draft process, because when you look at the draft process, there's so much time and energy goes into where you put the grade you put on these young men at the time, and then they have their experience, that could be different from each opportunity, injuries, and so many things can go a different direction. So I think this is clearly a case of trusting their process, and now he's having success there, and then with that, I think it's a great situation to be in for the 49ers, because now you have two players that you feel really good about that can win and play at a high level. So hopefully Matt keeps going and keeps playing at that level. But I think this is a great spot to be in.
You said trust your draft grade. That's a Trey Lance trade that you guys bring back to Dallas. You guys really liked him, and what are you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that'd be definitely an example of it. When Trey became available, and it was definitely the conversation was we talked about the grade that initially had on him and the value that we thought it would take to get him there. So absolutely, I've seen it happen over and over and over again, where you got to at least bring the guy, you got to at least bring the player in, at least bring him in and take a look, have the conversation, and it really, you got to trust that draft process.
So you think Shanahan after that game was like, we knew it. I knew it. Mm-hmm. I knew it. After he goes against the Saints and goes, I knew. This is what I thought whenever we initially did that. And on that point, Trey Lance goes to you guys. You liked your draft grade on him. You get him to the Dallas Cowboys. Currently with the Chargers, right? How do you feel about Trey Lance whenever your time with him?
Oh, I think he's definitely on the up. He's improving. I think he's getting to the point now that he'll be ready to be a starter in this league sometime. I was very high on Trey in my time there. I just thought he was very young, very, very raw, hard worker, excellent athlete. I think he has so much more in front of him. And I think he just got to really look at these players here in the last 5 or 6 years. I mean, this pandemic and the things leading into it. I mean, I had a young, one of our youngest son, senior year was the pandemic. So, I mean, I think that time clocks on development can be a little skewed as far as guys. You see it. We talked about it a lot in the line room, offensive line room, letting those guys have an extra year to develop. So I just think patience is something that we all wish we had, in the development outlook. And I think Trey is definitely someone that's turned the corner. I really enjoyed my time working with him.
I forgot there was a world stoppage of events, being around each other and everything, and crucial development years too, whenever everything kind of changes. I don't even think, until you mention it right there, Yins are genius, obviously, football. I don't think that has even crossed my mind about like football development for players because of COVID. Obviously, you think about life, people being locked in their houses and separated from everybody, and people maybe getting more deep into the internet and believing things and seeing things and yada, yada, yada. That's life effects. And then high schoolers not being around each other, so them interaction and how they feel publicly, that's a whole thing. Whenever the developmental years, obviously. I hadn't thought about football development, though, much. That is certainly a thing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you go through Colts, what the Colts got going on with AR at quarterback, and then you talk about Trey Lance, I assume this is at other positions. You said offensive line. That makes a lot of sense, because that's a year of that you miss out on that you certainly need in the development phase. Wow. Hey, that was pretty profound. I want to let you know that. That was pretty profound what you just said right there. No shit.
Thank you. No shit.
Go ahead.
What did you expect?
Yeah. Go ahead, AJ.
Coach, why for so long why is it always so difficult, I think, to evaluate college quarterbacks coming out of their college program and making that transition to the NFL? I know so much relies on what's around a QB to make him successful, but it seems like since the dawn of football, it's really tough, and there's a lot of different opinions on who's going to be the guy at the next level and who's not. What do you think that is? Like, is it ever going to get easier?
I think it's always going to be a challenge because of the access, because you really, the pro experience of getting access to really truly understand the guys is so important. I personally think it's better because you're seeing more quarterback driven offenses as far as them running the ball that's now transferred to the NFL, where you used to have to project, a quarterback that was, in a primary, run first, throw it second offense, and how would he, do in third downs and things like that. evaluate his drop back passing game and so forth. But I think you see so much more of the the quarterbacks with the athletic ability being used in college that now is being used in the NFL. I think that part has gotten a little easier. But it's just like anything. I just know for years, and the video is so much better, it's light years compared. But in the old days, if you really didn't get to get right next to the quarterback and feel the ball come off his hand and be at the workout, you truly didn't know the velocity. Now you got the instrumentation. That there's so much data out there. Now you're on the opposite side of the evaluation curve of having maybe too much to look through and really sort down it, because at the end of the day, these guys don't. When you look at players that make it versus ones that don't, it's not. I don't think it's their physical capabilities. I think there's so much more data and information where these scouting departments do an excellent job there. It's really the emotional development and the emotional projection of how they're going to project to the professional sport life.
How do you go about doing it? We've seen like rock, paper, scissors people do. There's a basketball shooting. They try to figure out the competition level, try to find out if they love ball. Like, what is the goal of trying to figure out if they're going to become somebody that's an asset to your locker room or a turd, for lack of better words? Is there anything you try to do in the process of scouting a player that makes you feel one way or another about what they could potentially be in a few years as humans?
Yeah, I think, from the head coach perspective, it is different. But I think it's, your scouting department. I just go back to the last one. I've been very blessed to work at two organizations who they're different in their scouting approach, but I thought both organizations did an outstanding job of clearly understanding the player, and there's ones where there's times where you may not have all the information that you would like to have, but it really comes down to the scouts and the whole process, the testing and just, once again, collecting the data and having an understanding of how it's presented and then, setting that board the right way. But I thought both the Cowboys and the Packers, did an excellent job in that area.
We appreciate the hell out of you, Coach. And I know you don't like to pick games. Obviously, you wouldn't want to do that or do that. But if you were over the last couple of weeks with what you have said, you'd be undefeated right now picking games on Thursday night. Congratulations. Congratulations. 2 for 2. Last week, you picked the Packers. Felt like that was going to happen regardless. They showed up for you. It was a big one. You didn't pick them, by the way. You said, I like green gold tonight. So we put words in your mouth and had you pick the Packers. Tonight, I think I heard you say earlier, that's a lot of points. That's a lot of points for a Thursday night game. How do you see this game going for us that will be picking games here in a matter of moments?
I think Buffalo's going to win the game. That's a lot of points for a division game, but
say no more.
I'm going to go against against the grain. I'm going to go with the Bills tonight.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Good night for the
Oh
Blues.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Good night for the blue and white, you said?
It's good enough for both. All right, we appreciate the hell out of you, Coach. You're the man.
All right, man. See you next week.
Ladies and gentlemen,
guys.
Coach Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, Coach.
He's the man.
All right,
The
man.
best.
All right, man.
I'm not making actual picks, right? No. But
Sounds like he likes 12.5 though, right?
What are you asking me here?
Well, he just kind of waffled a little bit. He
Said
kinda
he's
just-
going
said
against the
Bills.
grain.
He's taking the Bills. He's taking a good night for the Blue.
When Jordan Arda popped up,
his face. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow. He had some profound shit. We're on the opposite end of the evaluation scale or something like that, where we know too much, where at one point we didn't know enough. We had to go see him. And then what was the other COVID affecting development of football?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even think about that. Didn't even cross my mind, because we had football during COVID, but there were some places that didn't.
Yeah.
And there were some places, high schools and things like that didn't, maybe had 2 games or something like that because they couldn't get through all the COVID stuff. In a lot of California obviously had very heavy regulations during COVID. A lot of football players come from the state of California. There's a lot of, that was pretty profound. He's like, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Good shit, I know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it is though. It hadn't even really crossed my mind. It is hard to be patient with these guys, but also just understanding that their development kind of got fucked by the world, actually.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like the whole, we're not even diving into that, but
But everything.
Legitimately, like the state of the world has affected how these dudes can play ball. I know the rest of the world too, and that matters a lot more than just a game in a sport. I'm understanding that, but I'm talking about just in ball. I'd never really considered that.
The only one that's still on the same team is Trevor Lawrence. Like, you look at that entire draft class: Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance. Mac Jones, Justin Fields. Trevor Lawrence is the only one who's still there, and you could argue he had some of the worst development because of what he had to go through between the coaches he dealt with when it was Urban and then Doug Peterson, who had the whole play calling debacle, and now it's Ryan Cohen already, or whatever the hell his name is. Liam Cohen. There it is. I blinked on it. I don't know why, but a lot of Cohens. And then you look at Mac, he's bounced around. Fields is the only one who's actually gotten like a true second opportunity to be a starter, and even then, they're 0-2 and he's not playing this week. So it's one of those things where that entire COVID era, I never even once thought of that. Just I think probably because the guys after them ended up being who were young.
Yeah, thank God I wasn't going through high school, college during that stuff,
dude. Especially with the Aussies.
I had so much fun.
It's a lot of
Aussie punters and kickers.
Oh yeah, it would have been over for me, brother. Yeah, it would have been. But also just life development.
Well, like you said, like they still had football in a lot of places, but can you imagine? It is nothing like it was the year before. Like it's football, but it's like this isn't what I'm used to.
Not allowed to be
all.
in meetings together.
Exactly.
Not allowed to be in a locker room. Not allowed to really train or practice against each other.
Yeah,
could hear Big Ben at Acrisure. That's how different it was. They were hearing him yell, slay, and they could hear him on defense.
Hey, you guys are playing the Steelers next week? Yeah. Ben is just going to tell you exactly what everybody's doing. Just don't let him know that you can hear him because we're all kind of playing it. So
Those were the days.
you guys can't
hear.
What's that?
Act like you cannot hear whatever he's saying.
Okay, please.
As you slide to the proper leverage as the ball is snapped and you hopefully get interceptions and tips and overthrows.
Don't ruin this for all of us. Please, don't ruin this for all. We got him next week. Don't just act like you didn't hear him.
He didn't care. 11-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben
Don't gotta stop him.
wants you to know about it, actually. And then he probably, if we know Ben, now that we know Ben,
Lying.
he was definitely working that a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, when I say slaying, I mean go.
Yeah. If I say hot route twice, go deep, bitch.
You know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Roethlisberger's a dog, dude. His show is good. He was wearing a hocky helmet the other day.
It was.
He's the man.
He's really stretched his legs.
Is it a tape job on a stick?
Yeah, he's exploring the space, which we are grateful for.
Yep.
Him and Spank are doing it down there in Chef. Keep going, boys. Football. It's a good show.
Yeah, boys.
Great show. My TV when I do so YouTube TV probably an app.
Yeah.
The TV I have, I gotta go through YouTube.
What?
Then I gotta go into
To the bottom.
Yeah, to the left, down to the bottom of YouTube TV.
Really?
That sounds horrendous.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. And I know YouTube TV doesn't like that that's what I got to do either. But it is what my TV offers, and it is the only way I know how to get in there as somebody that's not great with this entire thing. Anytime I go to YouTube, it gives you suggestions.
Mm-hmm.
It's Bluey.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Metallica, Enter Sandman at Virginia Tech.
Nice.
Daughter loves it, which is great. Love that she loves that, by the way. She'll literally, alongside of it, does the entire thing. Classic Metallica, though, they don't let the whole video play. They cut it off.
Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
Love the way that guy operates.
Yeah. Shout out Lars.
He just lives. He's hey, you are operating how I am operating, or you're not operating at all. Mad respect.
Lars World.
You do what you got to do, Lars. Great performance at Virginia Tech, too. I wish I would have been there. I watched the first minute of it with my daughter.
Yeah.
A
Feel
lot.
like I got it.
And then there's Roethlisberger, their newest episode right there. Not even our show. Not even our show on it. Not even somehow. But Roethlisberger's on there every time. So it's a new Ben face that pops up on the screen whenever I'm trying to get in my bedroom. Saw him with that hawk. There it is. There it is. That was what pops up. Big pop out of me, Ben. I just want to let you know it's a big, big pop out of me. Spank's going, I'm not doing this.
Yeah. Well, I thought this was football, not hockey ball.
Yeah, I enjoy
Trying to tape it with the gloves on.
Yeah. He's from Ohio. He grew up around hockey. He understands what's going on. He gets it. Him and Sid, boys.
Him on the ice.
Problematic.
Oh my God.
He had 100 goals one season.
Yeah,
9
clap
feet
on.
tall.
Yeah, he took the stick from here.
Yeah.
It's like combining Patty Maroon and Gretzky.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Yeah, I think so, actually. Hockey better be happy he chose football.
Yeah,
that's right.
Bingo, you're welcome.
All right, let's go through some news of the day before we make our picks and get the hell out of here. I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
Everything's going right for Danny Dimes.
Everything
That's not what I...
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's wrong?
Please.
thought you were going to bring up something very bad.
Yeah, no.
I'm not even talking about the alien in Panama.
Okay.
I'm not even talking
I
about
thought you
that.
were going.
Okay, but certainly saw it last night. Whatever the hell's going on, Wald.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to that guy.
everything's also. We'd like to thank that guy for whatever he's documenting right now. If it is real, obviously it is a profound discovery. But what I would also like to talk about is Danny Dimes. Everything's going his way. Yeah. Him and Riley Leonard were outside the Indianapolis Colts practice facility. I don't know if you saw this, AJ. And they did a closest to the pin challenge on the 105-yard hole, which goes over some water. Danny Dimes knocks it off a rock that's right next to the water, closest to the pin, beats Riley Leonard. Everything is going Danny Dimes' way. I will say Danny Dimes and Riley Leonard both have beautiful swings.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, it was this middle season, there's no way they've been able to play in a long time. And Riley Leonard puts one to like 15 feet or something like that, 16 feet. And then Danny Dimes goes off the rock to within 10 feet. As soon as I saw it, I said, Colts might win the fucking Super Bowl this year. It's a beautiful thing. I'm happy we put it out there. And welcome to Indianapolis and welcome to the Colts, Danny Dimes. I think you're going to be here for a long, boom, right there. Boom. And to 6 feet.
Everything's coming up, Dimes.
That's what we're talking about. We need more of that happening. We need to maybe have Danny Dimes go down to the gas station, grab some scratch-offs.
Yeah, bingo.
Because he's going to hit.
Bingo.
We need him to just randomly start selecting numbers so that maybe if the Powerball gets up to what it is, Danny Dimes is on what we like to call a life heater. And we are going to be the ones that are going to benefit from it here in Indianapolis. Let's enjoy it all, AJ. Let's enjoy it all, I'm saying.
I'm looking forward. I mean, when I see that, and I think everything's going well. Like let's say Danny Dimes goes out and he leads you guys to a Super Bowl. You guys win the Super Bowl. He's going to be hosting SNL like February, March next year. He's going to be all over the place. The cover of GQ, Muscle and Fitness, all of them.
So I think Danny Dimes understands that he doesn't want that. Now, will he host Saturday Night Live? Maybe.
He'll be good. He'll be really good.
The only thing he wants to be on the cover of is the Hard Work Times. Okay,
that's right. The blue collar magazine.
Bingo. He ain't doing anything but that.
That's
all right?
right.
He ain't doing no GQ. He ain't Joe Coolborough.
He's gonna have gloves on that are gonna have holes where the calluses are to showcase his calluses. He's gonna have boots and big jeans on, maybe a Carhartt jacket. Yeah, that's what he's gonna do. He's gonna maybe have some duck paint on because he just got done shooting some ducks out there.
Lumberjack Weekly.
Boom. Maybe fucking over his shoulder have the axe out there. That's what Danny Dimes is out here.
He ain't doing that other stuff.
Yeah, GQ magazine, you had your opportunity at the New York Kid. Okay, he ain't out there anymore.
Think about Playboy, though.
What's that?
He'll think about Playboy.
I don't know. I don't think so.
They might.
You got to keep Danny Dimes away from the duck blinds. Okay, we went over this once with Carson Wentz. We don't need this guy to fucking fall in love with mallard hunting, and then he comes back, and that's all he cares about. He doesn't care about football anymore.
Sounds like a hick.
I'll tell you what. Exactly. I've seen some real pictures from duck hunters. Do they ever not beat the ducks?
No,
it feels like they always
they kill 500 every single time.
Now I watch Riley Green on Jimmy Fallon, still a show. Crazy what's happening in the world right now. I watched him on Jimmy Fallon, and Riley Green hit that duck call. He made that thing sing.
Pretty good.
It'd be hard not if you were in the sky as a duck to be like, oh, shit.
Was that?
What is that? Get me down there. And as soon as they get down there, all they hear is,
yeah.
Oh, shit.
You think him and
they don't win.
No, ever.
These guys have mastered, and women, there's a lot of women duck hunters out there. They have mastered the trailing. It's almost as if they know the exact speed that each duck is going to go. I don't think they ever miss.
I don't think they do either.
No.
Congrats to them. That got to be, hey, those ducks, though.
A lot of practice there.
You think him and Devlin Duck Hodges go out together, Riley Green, Country World together?
I do wonder if Duck Hodges can keep up with Riley Green.
Keep
duck
up.
calling. I know he's a world champion. That was back in the day. Riley Green might be the big, he might
You
be
don't
the
think
one.
Laney has taught him something with a voice?
Yeah, all he's doing is singing.
Jimmy Fallon took that thing backwards. Okay. Riley Green said, you probably don't even know which end to blow it, and then immediately on cue, back into that thing. It was good to TV. We're out. that thing's off in 2 seconds, I will say.
That was an important thing to bring up.
We had to talk about it.
Yes, it was.
If we didn't get that on there,
then
that's anybody.
It's like, why did we even do a show today?
Bingo.
Yeah. You got to bookend the show, with that.
Agreed.
Love a good bookend.
Don't you?
That's why we always appreciate seeing your book shelf back there.
Mm-hmm.
Which one's the most recent book that you have read?
That's a good question.
That's a great question. Like the green one with the green pages, probably.
Oh, yeah, and we've talked about this before. You don't have a cover to the book because you don't want to judge the book by said cover, so you actually ask the publishing companies to send them without any words on the cover. We need a blank cover around all of them, except for that one. You wanted people to know what you hand wrote it on there. You wanted people to know what book it was. These books, though, did the kids are the kids starting to read these yet, or any family friends asking about maybe sharing one? Maybe leave a book.
I don't share these books. No, I don't share these books. No. Kid, this is too advanced for my kids.
This ain't a library.
Maybe when they're 35.
What was that thing that they did at that place next to? I'm not a big book reader. Sorry, actually never done it. What was the
Talking about quills?
Yeah, they had like leave a book, take a book.
Bingo. Yeah, very popular deal. You go in there, you drop off a book, you see one you might like, and I'll take this one.
Which book did you leave in there while taking a very good book?
I put Coach JB's book in there because I just figured
ultimate gift.
Someone's got to read this.
What is that? Hate Me Now, Love Me Later?
Bingo.
Coach JB?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Still doing it.
Does he read the audio?
Yeah, the audio version is unbelievable.
I would listen to that.
I don't know if that includes. Did you leave a little thing on top to plug in for the audio version, like an MP3?
I should have. I didn't. I left a stick on top for whoever's going to grab it next. Enjoy this with a stick.
Yeah, you need to take down a stick there.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to a break. We'll pick the game on the other side. Sounded like Coach McCarthy went against what he always says. 12.5 all points. Thursday night.
Josh Allen, man.
Division game. I'm going to go against that.
Like the Dolphins are going to get fucking throttled.
He didn't say that, but he did.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And his brain said that.
Right.
At one point, that was a thought.
Mm-hmm.
And what came out was, Bills look real good.
All points, but
Gumpy, does that make you feel better or worse about this evening that people are going against their own rules normally?
I'd rather everybody go against us at this point.
Are you going against you?
Not a chance.
You said you wanted to fight.
And guess what? You know who's going to score a touchdown tonight? Alec Ingold, plus 2,500.
Okay, there's his touchdown bet. They've been
You
hitting
have hope? He has some hope.
He wants them to fight. That's what he said.
I know there's no moral victories, but you have to show up tonight. You could, if you lose by a touchdown, lose by 3, the season's still alive with the next 2 games. If you get killed tonight, it's Jover.
yeah, if they get killed tonight, kick them off the tour.
Legitimately, and I'm not shitting you. That you got to fight tonight. You got to show up. You talk shit. You say the culture change. You got to do something. Please show up.
You guys can't see this, but back on his hat, it literally says low bottoms and high hopes. Right here on his hat.
And right now, we're at low bottom lobes.
Wow. Yeah.
We're just pulling for him to fight.
Some fight.
I'll take a moral victory tonight. How about that?
Okay.
I will.
Week 3, fight.
That's where I'm at.
I like that. I think I've been in your position maybe a couple times throughout my life in history of sports, either playing or watching. It's great that we're not you. It is great to not be in your seat right now, but I want to let you know, low bottoms, high hopes, maybe tonight changes everything.
Good.
Maybe tonight brings the Miami Dolphins back to that team that scored 70 points against the Denver Broncos.
70.
Wow.
You remember that?
I do. Yeah, that was recent.
Oh, it was a long time ago. A lot of football has been played since that has happened.
2 years ago.
A lot of hopes have been smothered since then.
Might have been week 3 2 years ago.
But tonight, we fight.
Fight. Fight. Fight. Fight.
Fight. With all our might. Fight. 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 Keep it close. 12.5. Take moral victories tonight.
Moral victories.
Week 3 division game.
There's moral victories. I love it.
I watched that shit. I watched that shit
True.
live week 1. All right. That's where I saw it live week 1. I watched every snap. I saw Zach Wilson come in and throw balls into the fucking husk, okay? I just show up, please. Thank you.
He's talking about the coconut husk, which is obviously the rubber that is used on our turf at Lucas Oil Stadium as opposed to tires. Coconut husk, better for the joints, what we've been told.
Quick track.
And with that being said, Gumpy not only saw every snap, he heard every snap. He was the only Dolphins fan that was within, and he sat there. Dolphins tarp, Dolphins hat, Dolphins flag, I think, over his head, just sitting there, just taking it from everybody. And he walked out of there. We fucking suck.
Fuck this.
And then fight against the fight against the Patriots.
Yeah. It was a fight.
And then tonight, maybe more fight. And then week 4, guess what? Maybe a little.
We're winning Monday night against the Jets.
Fuck.
Prime time again for the Fins, boys.
All right, schedule maker, we're done with it.
What the
And don't worry, it's not a doubleheader.
It's not?
Flex
No.
it out. Get it out of there. Pull it. All right. Be your friend. Tell a friend something nice. Gumpy, we love you, man.
Love you too, man. Fight.
All right. Take 5.
5.
We're still bringing it.
I light every bridge I see here just to watch it burn. If you seen all the hell I seen, it make your stomach turn. I think you know why I do what I do when I do.
Started with 133 teams vying for one of these coveted 12 spots for this 12-team playoff, and it came down to 2 teams in the great state of Indiana kicking this entire thing off.
I might drink a little, I might smoke a lot, counting down the good times, staring down the clock, throw some high.
The best year of college football that it's ever had is about to have the greatest playoff it's ever had, and it all starts right here in front of Touchdown Jesus and his beautiful Irish people. And I think if you say, "Go Irish!" Be Hoosiers! They'll do that all night. If you make this kick, I will double his kick to $500,000. I will also donate $250,000 to a charity of Chris Daly's choosing. Yeah, let it go, man.
Oh, God.
Not terrible. Not terrible. Proud of you. One kick, $750,000. The Lord is watching you. Man down. Man down.
That's all right.
1 million. And there's a bunch of that have invaded. It's a lot of them.
We don't just beat top 25 teams, we beat the shit out of them.
Okay. Google here.
But one thing you didn't learn from me is talking all the shit you talk.
Welcome to the most electrifying atmosphere in all of sport. I know European soccer fans are wild. That's like 30 to 60,000. You're about to see all weekend 100,000 plus bananas atmosphere, and that is one part of the reason why college ball is so damn great. Why are the drones here?
Just not a fun show? No serious show? Serious football. Alabama Jones is very serious.
You know, he was trying to be funny, which I get it. And, you know, my daughter Kristen loves him, so that's kind of soothed the soul a little bit that somebody in our family likes the guy.
I choose to believe in front of Touchdown Jesus and everybody looking down. IU gets a massive win over Notre Dame. Shane, I'm sorry.
You're a real scumbag. I thought Coach Cignetti coming out here was a real disgrace to the game. He left his players in the locker room to go get some camera time for himself. I know a legend like yourself would never do something like that. Would you? No, it's disgusting. I saw it. I thought, wow, what a sad, disgusting program. Notre Dame by a million. Go Irish.
Riley Leonard and the Irish from their own 2. Jeremiah Love breaks free. Jeremiah Love trying to go 98. Touchdown!
Might be fiction for a blowout here, fellas.
Couldn't wait to get to the wonderful state of OH! In the SEC, coming up to the Big Ten, when it's cold as hell, we shall settle the conversation here in beautiful Columbus. Coach, that hairline, you get a haircut every day?
Not every day. Not every day.
Big beard, big boot, Peters in tow, 500. Oh, this guy sucks. Holy hell. This guy's the worst we've ever seen. Just took out the Ohio State cheerleaders. $1 million here, JD level. Yep, this guy sucks at kicking butt. We appreciate the hell out of you, Jeremy. He has once wiped 100 times.
What? Wiped what?
Yeah, 100 times. There are actually people out there, psychos obviously, that like the non-frosted Pop-Tarts. Gary's probably one of the best football players I've ever been around. Non-frosted strawberry Pop-Tarts.
I like non-frosted Pop-Tarts.
Non-frosted pop flakes.
Now, I, at one point this year, was the mayor of Conktown.
You were the mayor?
Mayor of Conktown, yeah. They voted me in there, and this is my
How do you become the mayor of Conktown?
You just got to go around and say, listen, I heart cock. I heart cocks. Sorry, numerous. Whenever we found out that there was going to be a college football playoff game in Columbus, Ohio, we were all jacked up to see this Ohio State faithful be showcased to the entire world about how much they love football. Then we walked out here to this game day set this morning, and it was like, Rocky Top, you'll always be home, sweet home to me. Rocky Top, Rocky Top. Well, in that song, they say it's home. Home for me is the North, and the cold is going to be Dahn. Give me the Ohio State Buckeyes representing for the Big Ten.
How cool was Sean Perkins, the Ohio State football team, for allowing us to hang out in their facility pretty much all day Saturday? They had 5 TVs set up, a bunch of recliners. Roosters supplied some phenomenal food. Arctic temperatures. AJ Hawkins on 2 warmers. Darius Butler from South Florida. He's fucking in for it. You can check up on about first quarter, fourth quarter. It's all we want. It's all we It is. Hand off on the count. Travion Henderson in the open field. Travion Henderson is scoring another ton for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Story of the game thus far as Chip Kelly is going mad dummy, bruh. All of Ohio is excited. They were singing long neck, ice cold beer never broke my heart. First read, second read, third read, scramble, ball on the ground. Check down. Would hate to be a Tennessee fan or a chair near Morgan Wallen because they have no hope right now. Will Howard. 101. Check. Jeremiah Smith.
By and large, these games have absolutely stunk, Pat.
Peter Herbstreit raising an absolute hell.
A couple people up here with that smoky orange face paint on that are feeling like real assholes right now.
As we look to the exits, and the Volunteers fans are saying, get my ass back to the South. This one's over. Bounces it. Touchdown, Ohio State. Boys, that was wide ass open. He's got left-handed. 500 drones. Ones that we know about. This game's over, but we're still bringing it. Let's go. This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people. And welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this NFL Week 3 kickoff Thursday, September 18, 2025. Hour 3 of the program begins now. Football is the greatest sport of all time. That man's a college football national champion and a Super Bowl champion. That's AJ Hawk. The Talks the Tables here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys AP Tone is here. And I'd like to introduce something to the show officially. Oh my God. See those, AJ?
Oh, those Shaqs?
Yeah, little Shaq Nose is here, brother. I'll tell you what.
It's getting me.
Saw him on Amazon. Had to pull the trigger. Yeah, don't look too.
Those are sweet.
They're gigantic. It's a nice reminder of what shoes used to be like.
Yeah.
These things feel like I'm putting on like old school football cleats. That's what they feel like right now. And obviously, you're just supposed to wear them on day to day and whenever you're about to go wreck a rim, obviously. But these things are gigantic. I mean, there's a lot of stuff around them. My toes are at the very tip of this thing. I do think do they make me shoot better?
Yeah. Let's find out.
I don't know if that's what they're meant for.
think so?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that. Shout out. Hey, Shaq. Shout out, dude. Appreciate that. That ball falling there is good vibes and good signs as we head into week 3 of the NFL season. AJ, last week you won in the picks. Congratulations. You're back on the board.
Boy, Hawk.
You know, first week you were horrendous. This past week you got hot. Is that going to continue? We shall see tonight. Dolphins taking on the Bills at ESPN Bet. It's back to 11.5. It was 11.5 at ESPN Bet to start the show. Some other books had them at 12.5. Middle of the show, ESPN Bet moved it to 12.5. Everybody was kind of sitting at 12.5. Now we're back to 11.5 at ESPN Bet. Let's go to one half of the hammer. Dahn, Cowboys AP Tone. What does that mean?
Everywhere is 11.5, except for one book is at 12.5. I assume it's just fluctuating money coming in on the Bills, so they jumped it up to 12.5 for a second, and then there was some money coming in on the Dolphins, so they went back down to 11.5.
Okay, so kind of a mixed bag. What's the percentage of bets here?
72% are on the Bills tonight, which is not surprising. I thought it'd probably be more, to be honest with you.
Okay, Mike McCarthy also likes the Bills, both at 12.5 and at 11.5. Remember, he made his pick at 12.5.
He did.
Okay, so let's hold him to that.
Don't forget that.
Yeah, let's not forget that with Coach Mike McCarthy. He'd want that type of standard anyway.
But there was 11.5s out there when he did make the pick.
Yeah, so I guess with our own rules, we kind of have to go with the best option available. So he's at 11.5. Connor, anything you're thinking about for tonight's game?
The only thing is the desperation. Miami backs against the wall. That's it. I mean, no Ed Oliver, probably going to be big. Didn't really hurt the Bills last week with the Jets, but with A-Chain and Ollie Gordon, you would assume maybe they do run the ball a bit. I don't know. It's just one of those games just like the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. It's not as dramatic of a situation because it's week 2 and not week 3, not week 1, but they are desperate and these games are always close.
Ty Schmidt, 27-14 can happen.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I was thinking, especially with hearing what Schefter said about their secondary being super banged up. Miami's, I mean, like, it's tough to envision that they won't win by at least 2 touchdowns. And I think even, if you're a Dolphins fan, maybe that's not the end of the world. You're just trying to avoid, hey, we can't get beat by 5 touchdowns tonight. But I think it's very likely that the Bills win by at least 2 touchdowns.
Gumpy, you're hearing what everybody's saying? 72% of the world is on the Buffalo Bills right now from the website that we're reading. Gumpy, you've heard it all morning. Obviously, it's been a little emotional throughout times of both the pre-show and even during the show. You got a little worked up there. How do you lean here as we final, and why should we pick the Dolphins?
Jalen Wright also back tonight, one of our running backs. If you get Jalen Wright, A-Chain going, and Ollie Gordon, you could control possession a little bit. That's what you have to do. This is the thing. No, yes. We run for a lot of yards, but we don't run the ball is the issue. Like McDaniel, you have to run the ball. They're making gains. They just refuse to run the ball. You have 3 good running backs. Pound the rock.
Is that why you're wearing that jersey? Is it like a subtle reminder to McDaniel maybe if he saw you on TV today, like, oh, we got a pretty good running back in A-Chan?
He's actually my favorite player on the team now.
More than Tua and Tyreek? What?
This guy. I like this guy. Waddle's always kind of banged. The Waddle jersey's hanging in my locker as well. He's banged up, though. I didn't know if he was playing or not.
I mean, this is what it's all about.
Yeah, he didn't do it on Sunday.
Yeah, the owner was doing it.
Yeah, and then he scored. He didn't walk.
Maybe he stopped because the owner was doing it. Like, you know what, this jumped the shark. Maybe jump the dolphin here.
Yeah.
AJ, 11.5 is the spread. I know you have been seeing the board well here for the last few days. The NFL is unpredictable. Division games are unpredictable. Thursday night games, unpredictable. Or are they? They're unpredictable until they're not.
Correct.
And we got to remember, there's been 90% public bet that has covered.
Oh, yeah.
In the past.
And usually around this time is when the public does hit.
There's been games that have seemed too obvious to be true, and then they were as obvious as we thought they were going to be. But there's always that thought that the games that we also have seen is a team change who it is for one game, for 4 quarters, they piece it together and they're able to beat anybody. Could tonight be the turning point of this Miami Dolphins team, this Miami Dolphins franchise, this entire program organization's trajectory? Does it change tonight? Do they beat the Bills? Do they keep it close? Or do the Bills win by at least 11.5? AJ Hawk, you will go first.
A lot of times in these situations, when I take like the obvious pick with so many points in the NFL, I think it's tough to cover when you have 11.5, a spread like this. We don't see this a whole lot. But I think the Dolphins know they have a great opportunity. I don't think they find a way to capitalize on it. I think the Bills win by 14 plus.
Okay. AJ's got the Bills.
What's up? What are you worried about?
Just hold on. He's thinking. I mean, it's a big spread, and you're seeing the board.
A little respect
You
for
took
the
the Bills.
process.
Yeah, you took the Bills. That does change. You're seeing the board right now. To everything Connor just said, and the tone. I take into account if other people are seeing it, you know? You're 1 week. Right there, what I was doing, is that 1 week of seeing it? Or is he actually understanding what's going on right now?
Who were you talking to?
Right there in my head? Me?
Okay. I didn't know if there was some sort of shaman or.
Well, I would hope it is actually a much smarter version of me. Every time I do that, have the self-talk, I'm always hoping to fucking God it's a better me that's answering.
I pictured you like Ace when he was in the den and then he hovered above himself. Ventura, Ace Ventura, that is.
Oh, yeah, I remember what you're talking about. Whenever he was down in the jungle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Probably too.
Your balls are shut.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, I was gonna say it's basically it. Like, this is the last time all year you can bet on you can pick the Dolphins.
Yeah, you really would like it, and that might be because you're a Patriots.
No, I just think that the Colts are really good, and I think that there's a chance here that the Patriots end up being a pretty solid team, and the Dolphins aren't that bad.
And you're saying I watched every snap of the Dolphins last week, and also I saw them week 1. They look like a much better team against the Patriots than maybe they looked against the Indianapolis Colts, is what you're saying?
Yes, and I genuinely think the Colts are like one of the top 8 teams in the NFL right now. So, like, can we really hurt them that much? Like, it's the same with the Packers.
But you know who else is one of the top 8 teams in the NFL right now?
Buffalo Bills.
The Buffalo Bills.
Give me 27-14 at least. Buffalo Bills winning that game. I mean, it might be. I like the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. I'm just really in the end. I'm just
I didn't
praying
watch
for a
that
shootout.
whole New England-Miami game. You see, that's the problem here.
Yeah.
I haven't seen, because I think they had good moments, great moments in there, right?
They had really good moments, but again, the other thing with the Miami Dolphins game is just that the Patriots, you know, their defense isn't all out there. You know, it's hard to even judge that.
Our defense also can't get a stop.
Okay, give me the Bills. Thank you. That was awesome. Appreciate that, Gumpy. I know you're pulling for the Dolphins tonight. I know Connor's pulling for them to keep it close. I assume there's going to be a lot of money potentially on it. Let's go, AJ. Let's win this thing. Let's do this. Woo! Let's get a perfect board this week.
Oh, why not? I think we can. I told you, I am very biased from the 10 minutes of Hard Knocks episode I watched of the Buffalo Bills, like August 17th airing. And I saw the camaraderie of that team, and that has stuck into my brain when I see how much of these guys enjoy being around each other.
Shane Steichen just said that yesterday about the Colts team. He's like, hey, they hang out. They go to dinners, multiple dinners a week. They hang out. It's just the vibes are vastly different. It's like, that means something. I think we look at that a lot more than other people do. Anytime there's a mic'd up, I'm trying to see how they're interacting. That's all I'm trying to see is the interaction. How's the interaction? When we're watching a sideline, we're just trying to see the interaction. Hard Knocks, stories are cool. Guy does rocks and shit. Yeah. Okay, sick. How do they interact? And that's all I want to see. Legit, all the teams that I've been around and been on that are good or great, the boys like each other. Whenever it's clearly that they aren't all on the same team, teams aren't good. It's just an X factor that seems to show up with great teams and doesn't get talked about it much. I agree with what you're saying about that Buffalo Bills Hard Knocks. I do. Division game, no. Thursday night, that's a short week. I mean
the Bills, though, it's big for the Bills. The Bills are rolling, and everyone they have everyone's respect and everything. They know they don't want any letdown. If they go drop a game to the Dolphins, that changes their season too pretty quickly. Even though they'll be fine either way, but they don't want this to happen.
I mean, you start thinking about how the game goes and what happens. Like if the Bills, with all that energy at home, come out and get an early big lead, then we're talking
scorched earth. Yeah,
and also potentially Miami.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, turning down a little bit, maybe, at that moment. Yep. Maybe some disagreements, maybe some miscommunication happens. But if Miami's able to battle there.
Gets the ball first.
Yeah, if they're able to keep that thing, then
they got to get Tyreek. They got to get a deep ball to Tyreek early. Like, Miami needs something like that to happen early. Let's get Tyreek involved. Let's get some excitement early and get on the board. That's Miami's chance.
Yeah, so let's watch that first quarter. What's the that's a bigger question mark, I think, than the overall game. Because how the first quarter goes, I think, is how we're going to find out what the game is.
Yeah.
If Buffalo's dominant, that's going to be.
Even that first drive, because if the Bills, Buffalo faithful, Bills Mafia gets going after like a 3-and-out from Miami, and then the Bills go score, and then they play Mr. Brightside or some shit, it's going to be real hard, ending the first quarter 14.
Both teams want the ball here, right? I think.
I would say.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think both offenses are better. So.
I could see Buffalo being like, fuck it, no, kick it.
Bills are
let our fans eat here for a second.
Bills are -3.5 first quarter. If it fancies you.
Do we have the percentages on who's on what there?
No.
What's the over/under of the first quarter?
The over/under of the first quarter total 9.5.
Oh,
I like over there.
Yeah, I like over for that and the whole game.
7-3.
Well, you're going over?
Yeah, I want to feel alive tonight.
Oh, I love it, Tony.
We like that, Tony. 50.5 is a lot of points.
It is.
That's a lot of points.
Bills rush defense stinks. Dolphins stink. So
okay.
Points.
Once again, I would love to see Willie Gay get some burn. The guy's a ball of energy. He's so good. He's played 2 fucking snaps all year. He's
Great 2 snaps.
He's so good at football. He just doesn't.
Why isn't he playing, Garth?
I
What
have
happened?
no idea. I put out a clip. It has like 500,000 views. No one knows why this guy doesn't play. He had 2 snaps. He had a tackle and another tackle for a 5-yard loss where he hyped up everybody. Took him off the field. New England made a 3rd and 17 screen.
All right. We're excited for tonight. We're excited for Gumpy. He said Willie Gay, one of the best players of all training camp, they're saying. God, does he?
Let's see him on the field then.
They were saving him for Thursday night, Buffalo Bills.
Must be.
Smart.
That must have been what it was. Tonight could be the night for the Miami Dolphins and their fans. And for that reason and that reason alone, we're pulling for them.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, this could be the year for the Buffalo Bills. And tonight could be a big one on national.
Yeah.
Prime time. Only people on to say, hey, this is who he is, if you were wondering about the Buffalo Bills. I'm excited for tonight. All right, we're going to toss to a conversation we had a chance to have with Stanford Steve and about college ball, especially this weekend. I think you're going to enjoy it. It's a segment that we're calling another college football convo with Stanford Steve. We think you'll enjoy it, and also we think it'll give a good breakdown on the storylines that you need to know going into college ball. And on that note, be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change your life. We're in this thing together. Team on me, team on 3. Let's enjoy tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Let's enjoy this life.
Hell
Don't feel alive.
Let's enjoy ball. 50.5 is a lot of points. I hope the over hits for all of us. Team on 3. 1, 2, 3, team. Goodbye. But let's get to this Miami-Florida game, Stanford Steve, and welcome to another edition of another college football convo with Stanford Steve. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah.
Honor to be here. Stanford Steve, what are the storylines of the weekend, brother?
Let's go to where we're going to be at. Gumpy's squad is hosting game day, Pat, so buckle up. I see he's got no sleeves on already, and it's early on Wednesday in the week. I can't wait to see what he brings.
Gonna be hot down
this
there.
week.
Gonna be hot.
I see rain. I think we might need a slicker. I mean, your rain slicker.
Well, it's Miami, right? We
what I
always
see.
have rain.
Always.
Yeah,
always.
okay.
Hurricane season.
Game will be delayed.
Oh, it's going to be so thick. I'm going to sweat. I'm going to be broiling in there from the inside and the outside.
So
and then
humid.
Oh, my God. I'm sorry, Steve. It's going to be great. We're pumped to be going.
Of course.
Okay, pumped to be going down in Miami. A lot of legends from the U. Obviously, can't wait to pay tribute and respect to the university. And I think our setup's going to be sick. Like, I think it is going to be a nasty setup down there. With that being said, it is early in the season, be that South.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and that is the South as you can get. It is going to be the thick 86, 400% humidity. It says 76%. To who? Maybe the locals. To me, that's going to be 150%. And then the next one, 85% humidity there. That's at night.
Beautiful.
That might as well be
Beautiful.
130% humidity. 77 is going to feel like what? 120.
Yeah.
And hydrate because you're going to sweat your ass off.
Oh,
With
yeah.
that being said, it'll be worth every drip.
Amen.
Cannot wait to say that I've been to the U. I cannot wait to get down there. And I'll tell you, I think because it's 2 Florida teams, a lot of people wondering why the hell would you go to that when there's other options. It's like I think that the Florida series this year has drawn more hype. And obviously Miami gets the host one. I think that potentially went into it. Although Indiana is about 45 minutes south of here.
That's true.
Okay, and they are certainly taking on a good Illinois team.
Yeah.
And that would have been an electrifying environment like it was last year. Why do you think this game was the College Game Day show? You and I both have no say in where it goes. I think we should be very, very clear about that because that is the truth. But why do you think this was the game that we chose to go to, and what are your thoughts on it?
I think it's the storylines, Pat. You mentioned, maybe some of the biggest hype quarterback coming in the SEC was DJ Lagway with the stars that were attached to his name coming out. him having success at the end of that last year. It sounded like they saved Billy Napier's job. But again, when the schedule comes out, you see you're about to get your teeth kicked in with what you have to do, knowing that they play these kind of out-of-conference games. They still got Florida State later in the year in their rivalry game. So I look at Florida as the biggest story, knowing how much people want to talk about coaches and hot seat and all that. But on the other side, that's the story for me. I believe Miami's the best team in the country. They're playing that way. The defense is insane. Carson Beck looks as comfortable as any quarterback in the country when you watch him. And my biggest question for the U, I think I said it last week, how are they going to replace their top 6 pass catchers from last year, along with a quarterback that comes in with no spring ball, limited summertime, had the surgery on the elbow? We were there in the SEC championship last year. So that's what the question was. And, man, they've hit the ground running. They look fantastic. The speed and the physicality on defense is crazy to me. And back against the wall, this is what we want. I mean, D-Butt, we talked about it last week.
Yep.
South Florida against Miami. How many guys know each other? This is even more so because this was guys taking each other's spots. Hey, where are you going? I'm going to go the other place, or screw that. I'm going to go there and start over you. We got it all here. I just think Miami should be ranked higher. I don't know about you guys.
Florida-Miami, big-time rivalry, or just because they're Florida State's always going to be a rivalry? And what Steve just said there, a pretty accurate statement about, these guys are getting offered to both these places and picking and choosing.
Yeah, for sure. When it comes to the recruits, when it comes to the athletes, I would say more so of a rivalry in Florida is Florida State, Miami. That's definitely a much bigger rivalry. But with this matchup, Steve, how does the UF secondary and the UF defense match up with all these weapons and how Beck is playing the weapons on the outside, the running back? How do they match up? I know, when you throw 5 picks like Lagway did, that's a bad spot for any defense to be in. But how does this defense match up man for man across this Miami offense?
That's the teller. I mean, because you go back, as bad as it was, 5 picks he throws, right? That Florida defense hung in there, and they got Caleb Banks last week, but then he left later in the game. They only gave up 1 touchdown. Lagway threw 5 picks, and Florida hung in there in what I consider the toughest environment to play in college football. So I believe Florida has the goods. I mean, you go up against LSU for 4 quarters, and you keep going on. I mean, those sudden changes get old, man. You don't even sit down, and your quarterback's throwing a pick. But I believe Florida has the goods. I just worry about their consistency on offense. That's what it comes down to me. They can't run the ball consistently, and that's Napier's offense because everything is set up off the play action, and then again, the same mistakes. They had an 87-yard touchdown called back because of a penalty. You can't have those things when you're playing on the road, and especially when your coach is on the hot seat like Napier. So Florida has to be more buttoned up if they're going to compete in this game.
Yeah, they have shot themselves in the foot the last 2 weeks. Like, they could have won both those games. They only lost by 10 with 5 interceptions, and they had penalties again. USF was penalties and mistakes in the red zones, fumbles, turnovers, things like that, snap over the head for a safety. Like, Florida, they could be fine, but now they're not. And the spread here is 7.5, and the numbers aren't out yet on where the public money is yet. But I assume, 98% is probably going to be on Miami this week because they are the darlings, they are the sweethearts right now. I assume everyone's going to be on Miami.
I totally agree with you, and that's what makes it pretty scary. If it's all going to go on Miami and it's staying at just over a touchdown tone, that's where you get a little dicey. Florida cannot be as bad as they were last week on offense. That's what I'm expecting. And if the money's that way, I think you got to take Florida plus the touchdown.
I just love that we got a nice Florida battle happening.
Mm-hmm.
Bunch of Florida boys battling in the southern tip of Florida, celebrating Florida football this week.
Mm-hmm.
That is kind of how I'm viewing it. DJ Lagway, you talked about high hypes. Yeah, I'd say. Him and Arch both.
Yeah, he's lucky.
Kind of coming into the season.
He's lucky right now.
Yeah, him and Arch both coming into the season had a lot of hype. Do we think they're dead? Like, do we think it's just going to take some time? Like, what are our thoughts? Because DJ Lagway last year, I think we all thought, holy hell, this is all turning around. Then to get a full offseason of him being the guy, so you would automatically assume we're going to get better here. Now, I'm not saying that LSU defense isn't fantastic. They are. I'm not saying, down in Baton Rouge, it isn't an incredibly difficult place to play. It is. Okay, I understand that. But that decision right there, I mean, there's just like a lot going on in decision-making as well as accuracy and like everything that's going. into it. And I'm not saying Arch Manning isn't going through the same exact stuff. You know, they're winning and everything like that, but since their first game. But he's got some accuracy issues and some decision-making issues that I don't think any of us expected. DJ Lagway, same exact thing with the whole offseason. Do we just think it's going to take a little? What are our thoughts here? Is that everybody else has a book on DJ Lagway as well, maybe?
I think it's a combination of things, Pat, but when you want to talk about Lagway specifically, this is where I was wary of Florida coming into the season. They made a big deal. They didn't lose a game. He started last year, but if you look close, he never started in an SEC road game last year. And now you combine that with last week where they're off a loss, and now he goes into the best environment in college football. I didn't know how he was going to respond. And when you go back, all the timing, when you read all the local stuff, they were so irritated because they were like, this guy's got to practice with what we have on this schedule. He's got to get reps. And I think the lack of reps, you saw that. And then you compound that with that atmosphere, that defense, the play caller that LSU has on defense. You saw it. It was just a tidal wave. They couldn't slow down. I mean, one of those picks is in triple coverage going in. If he throws the check down, you're down 20-13. It's one possession game in the fourth quarter. So you could tell he was totally flustered. They kept showing Napier talking to him. But the other thing is Florida was supposed to have one of the best offensive lines, and they're not holding their end of the bargain. So it comes with protection. And, again, going back to that run game, Ball is a great running back, and they can't get him loose. I think it was 10 for 40. That's not good enough for the SEC, especially in Napier's offense. They have to be better around Lagway, and I think that goes the same for Arch. If you want to mention Texas, everybody else has to get better. When you look at Texas last year, the guys that made people miss. Texas doesn't have that. The lack of separation, O-line inconsistencies. That's been the biggest thing. I get it. Everybody's going to focus on the quarterback. To the end of time, we're going to do that in football. But the other guys got to come up and play better to help that situation.
Arch is going to be just fine.
Yeah.
Okay? Let the boy develop. Let the boy learn the game.
Sure. Takes time.
Okay? We don't know. Any moment could be the time, though.
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of the conversation with that. I was, about DJ Lagway there. It's like, at what moment is the time? Do we think the time that he is full-fledged guy coming soon? Or do we think it's going to take a little bit? And then also, LSU, they might be for real.
Yeah, they hit on transfers.
Oh, yeah.
LSU might be for real.
Transfers.
Those picks, number 10 there, I don't know his name.
Me either.
He was striding 2.5 yards
Moving.
on that pick six. I mean, he was down the side. This is maybe the smoothest stride I've seen in some time. Give me that. And let me go ahead. Is he 6'5", that guy?
Huge.
Striding, just casual striding.
They do have a 6'5" corner.
Yeah.
That might be him.
Tallest ever, right?
Yeah.
Is that him? Jesus.
Deshaun Spears is his name. Is who made the pick.
Deshaun Spears, how
Let's get the Dams here.
we didn't see how tall that guy. That was unbelievable. 6'3"?
6'3", 208.
Okay, so we got a 6'3", 208 guy, and then they got a 6'5" DB down there?
No fly zone.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and he's 6'3", but his upper body is only 2 feet. I mean, his legs have to be 4 feet.
He was striding there.
This the year for Brian Kelly.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that looked what they did to DJ Lagway, obviously unbelievable. The home field advantage that they've always had. I think if you listen to them, they've always had. They just maybe haven't taken advantage of enough. It's like, is this the team for Louisiana?
The crazy part is their offense has not looked good yet. Like, it didn't look good against Clemson, and we know, and Clemson are they even good right now? And it didn't look good last week against Florida. So, like, and it's only going to get better. Like, Nuss is a really good quarterback. The O-line is the question mark because they brought in 4 new starters this year. So if that starts to gel, then yeah, the offense will be better, and then they'll, as a team, be great.
Offensive line, seemingly the issue everywhere in football, by the way.
Yeah.
If you got one, you're good. If you don't, you're bad. Last question on this particular game. Go ahead, comment.
Yeah, Stanford Steve, are they still having Billy Napier call plays? And those conversations on the sideline, it feels like that's something that, should benefit the player, but clearly Lagway still didn't have any improvement throughout the game. Is there a chance that his seat is hot? Not that his seat is hot. You've already said that. Is there a chance they let him go mid-season if this continues to go, downhill and Lagway continues to play kind of subpar?
Yeah, obviously the authority has all the info on that one, but it was interesting with that idea, Connor, the idea of letting your coach go this early and worried about guys who are jumping in the portal. From what I've read and heard this week is like at UCLA and Virginia Tech, those contracts the players have are like incentive-based and time-based. So like if they were to jump in the portal, they're not getting paid. So I think that's one good thing. Like, you want to hear positives about this era, that helps, but it doesn't keep them from redshirting. That's where the idea gets a little hazy as far as the specifics. But yeah, I think if they were
Nico's going to redshirt.
It could, yeah.
Wait, so like stay on the team and
just redshirt.
Work out, don't play, don't practice?
Yeah, you can play 3 games, right? Or 4 games?
Yeah.
4.
4, yeah. So you get.
Oh, that sucks.
Might as well.
Man, school should have thought of. Nope, good for the player. Good for the player.
Good for the player.
If it ends up working out.
And good for the school. They have to
Future
play.
schools, though, definitely wait till after all the players can redshirt. Definitely wait until after that. Just something. Just
Might be what
something
they
to think
do.
about.
Might be what they do after this week.
Just something. Certainly Florida might do. Who knows? But just going forward, I think universities should think about it. Because if I'm a player over there and we suck bad, and I mean, it'd be impossible not to just be, I'll redshirt. Is that a possibility? Yeah, what do I do?
You're getting fired, right? Oh, okay. So I'm not going to play this year then because it's kind of a wash. I'm going to redshirt.
So why would, with everybody that would be talking to the players, everybody's going to tell them, you can redshirt this year. You just take a redshirt year this year if you want to. No problem. You're allowed to do that. Can't transfer. They still have to pay you. Take a redshirt year, blah, blah, blah. It's like, wow. They got to get that.
That's pretty good little back door.
Yeah, they got to figure this whole thing out. You said you want to talk about positives in this era. There's a lot of interesting negatives that are certainly around the entire game as well.
I just wonder, though, because you're talking right now, Vatek and UCLA specifically, how many people are calling? You're 0-3 with losses to New Mexico and Old Dominion, and let's be realistic here. Get yourself better. Let's start about worrying about that.
Oh, I like that. You might find yourself in a transfer portal with no home.
Yeah.
You might go from UCLA. You might go from UCLA to Mount Union.
Yeah.
Okay, or UCLA to Delaware. This might not be what you think this is.
Team.
Delaware is good, right?
Blue Hens, yeah.
They did something this weekend. They did something this weekend.
It's a good football team.
Is that what happened?
11-point dogs.
We don't need to talk about it. We got Florida.
I didn't know. I didn't know that's how that works. Okay, let's go to the next game. Yeah, good call, D-Bud.
Yeah.
That did happen, though, in college football.
That's insane. I had no idea.
Oh, yeah.
UConn played Delaware?
Oh, yeah.
Tough. New England.
Delaware's a
battle.
D1 team.
Yeah, how much did UConn pay Delaware?
To lose?
It's a good question.
That's a great question. That's good business up there for the Delaware folks.
Same thing with Florida, Miami, Florida State. Those guys know each other.
Same thing.
Familiar.
Go ahead. What's next day for Steve
Big
G?
pregame speech, too.
Yeah.
Steve Bud always got it. I love it. We got to do Illinois at Indiana, 9 versus 19. 19 ranked Hoosiers are a 5.5-point favorite. Take that for what you want. What's really interesting is these quarterbacks, both transfers. Their numbers are almost identical. Mendoza, 55 of 76 for 708, 9 touchdowns. Altmaier, 56 of 78, 709, 8 touchdowns. First time these two teams are ranked in playing since 1950.
Whoa!
I look at it almost, people want to already fast forward to the playoff. I don't see the loser being able to make the playoff. This is a monster game, Pat. When we talked earlier in the year about who's taking that next step to get that 4th Big Ten team into the playoff, these are definitely two candidates. This is a great matchup.
It's really close here, too. And you can feel the electricity in the air for this one. But you're talking about two teams that nobody would have predicted to be great at football 4 years ago. Kurt Cignetti and Bielema doing what they're doing at their respective schools is obviously a beautiful thing. I think Illinois has money, too. I think Illinois does have money behind them. I think they're going to continue to be able to be good in the transfer portal in the offseason with NIL and everything like that. And then you talk about Indianapolis. Kurt Cignetti had to completely reload his team, and he was able to do it. Now, he did feel a little bit of a pinch because they're trying to get good at basketball again. New coach comes in here. I did feel a little bit of a pinch. I had to go scratch some more backs of some boosters to do what we did last year. But I think he's been able to do that. I think both these teams are going to be good for the foreseeable future.
Yes.
Now, will one of them go on to be great? Like Indiana last year obviously was great. Makes it to the play, everything that happens with them. They lose, but still nobody expected that. Will these teams continue to be good, or will both of them or one of them end up being great in another powerhouse in the Big Ten, which would be great for the entire conference, especially with where we're headed in the future. Tone, what are your thoughts on this game?
It's interesting because Illinois kind of gave me vibes of last year of like Oklahoma State and Virginia Tech, because they had a bunch of returning guys, but they won like 6 one-score games last year. So was their record inflated? Maybe. But they looked really good against Duke. It was a close first half, but then they just absolutely throttled him in the second half. I think it was like 41-19, so they looked good there. That's a good road win. But IU, I think, is very similar to the IU team last year. Like, they brought back a lot of guys. They brought back an all-conference player at all 3 levels on the defense. And then Surratt and Cooper Jr., who you're watching score here now, those are the 2 leading receivers last year. So, like, and Mendoza's looked really good. They haven't played anyone yet, obviously. They didn't play anyone early in the season last year either. But the IU team looks similar to the IU team that I watched last year, in my opinion.
Steve, do you think it's fair to say, like, I know we have a lot of, like 5-star quarterbacks who are young in the Big Ten right now, and I kind of want to smack myself for even saying this, but do Illinois and Indiana have the 2 best quarterbacks in the Big Ten?
Whoa, that's a good one. They're in the upper tier for sure. Ty, when you look at what they've
we want to know.
Yeah.
The best we want to know. Is it the best?
We're not predicting future either. So, like,
at this exact
right
moment.
now.
Right now.
A story just came out today that Luke Altmaier turned down, $3 million to go start at an SEC school because he wanted to stay at Illinois and, believed in Bielema and what they were building.
I love that.
I would say no.
Okay.
They don't have the 2 best.
All right.
I like what I've seen at Oregon and USC better.
Riley's offense, you're the one saying, hey, USC deserves a lot more respect than what they're getting. Finally ranked 25, I believe. You were saying they should have been ranked earlier in the season because of eyes watching them play ball. Let's get back to this particular game. Altmaier, Mendoza, both these teams have to win in your eyes to make playoff. Either of these teams have opportunity to win in playoff. You think whenever push comes to shove, either of these teams have enough talent to win whenever you're going to have to. Are either of these programs able to pay enough talent to win whenever you get to the top, which is what it is,
Yes. Yeah.
A lot of coaches have said it. It is just the reality of the situation. You got to have dogs, or you got to create dogs in one season and ride them. And then in the offseason, they're probably going somewhere else.
Yeah, they're out.
So it's like it's either you get a group throughout a season that becomes elite at these schools, and I'm not saying it, and I don't want to put Illinois down or make Indiana feel down. This is the reality. This is West Virginia as well. If we have a guy that comes out of nowhere for our team, C.J. Donaldson,
yes,
he's going to get paid to go to Ohio State. There's like 6 of these schools, 7 of these schools that have all the money. Everybody else just has to. I still think you can win, but you got to create that talent throughout the year, and then you got to hope, like Altmaier, they believe in the program. They want to stick around in this entirety. Do either of these teams, you think, have an opportunity to go ahead and win the whole damn thing with how they're constructed?
Not the whole thing, but they can make they can win a game.
Steve. What do you
Not
know?
A game would
Not
be
the
huge.
whole thing.
A game would be huge.
A win in the playoff is enormous for these teams like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right,
And possibly a home game on one of these campuses. That's
hey, welcome
Now
to
you're
the
talking.
North,
That's
SEC.
That's right.
You got to play Illinois in January.
Oh, so cold.
Yikes.
You kidding me?
Top 10.
Hey, congratulations. You're going to Indiana, Bloomington, Indiana. It'll be -3, and there'll be an Arctic chill.
Yeah, and
good luck. Come out with your shirts off to prove that you're not cold.
Yeah.
That'll be the right play.
IU's incredible too. It's sweet, like them being good in like this state, especially with football being back in Indiana with the Colts. Steve, are they going to be doing this every single year, you think? Not just IU too, like even Miami. Their strategy now is just going to be, hey, we can bring in a guy every year at QB and just be great with this offense.
It's if attainable, yeah. Like Miami with Beck. When you go back and look at the top 10 preseason, they were the only team that went that route. Everybody else had their quarterback on the roster for more than a year. Altmaier, reading a thing this morning about Bielema, he said the conversation money never came up. So you could believe that if you want to. I have a hard time doing so. But I think so many teams did it last year and fell by the wayside, but then there are examples of success like Cam Ward at Miami that has an all-time season. So I think it's what you have on the roster. I still think the biggest factor that gets lost is the player development and high school recruits who get lost in the shuffle here.
Agreed.
So it depends what you have coming back, depending on what you're going to do at the quarterback position, Connor.
Cal, Songapolatelli.
They got the guy.
He's the one.
Mm-hmm.
6'3".
So good.
We need to get him out of Cal. Get him out.
Don't worry. It's coming.
All right,
Miami next year.
I don't know, man. They got a GM up there. They got a lot of money up there, dude. They got a lot of money at Cal.
Who's their GM?
Ron Rivera.
Yeah.
Ron Rivera.
He knows ball.
Absolutely, he knows ball.
Guy's a Super Bowl champion.
He can see
Hell
greatness when that Songapolatelli kid. He's got a 3.75 GPA. I looked it up. 3.75 GPA. 6'3". This guy. Okay, and because when you watch him play, it's like this guy's got to be just all ball. This guy's got to be an absolute.
He's thick too.
Yeah,
can move.
Got size, can move,
and he's humble as shit. All of it doesn't really.
Hawaiian culture. It's
Yeah,
good.
he's an ooze.
He throws darts.
Yes, he does, and it's fun.
Yes,
and he's making guys open with his throws. The back shoulder, front shoulder throw that the guy was anticipating the back shoulder. I think it was week one.
Week one. Yep.
And instead he literally drops it front shoulder on the guy.
Yeah,
it's
no.
like that was a fucking 43-yard ball into a bucket on him. And that was just like his 9th straight completion or whatever to start his entire college career. It's like this dude is this guy's the one next offseason.
Yes.
I can't wait till West Virginia goes and says,
No, you got
aloha, Oos.
Yeah.
Mahalo for everything you're about to do for our state. You know what I mean?
It'll be worth it. It'll be worth every single penny forever. But he is basically bringing back late night football on Fridays and Saturdays too. Like the Pac-12 After Dark is what it was called. We need to come up with some new name.
Can't snooze. Like you literally can't snooze when Songapolatelli's playing football.
Can't.
It is very annoying actually. Sunday morning's coming. My daughter does not know that Songapolatelli is playing.
Long Sunday too.
Okay, she's sleeping through it somehow. Okay, I don't know how Mackenzie's sleeping through Songapolatelli playing football right now, but she is, and I know that she is going to wake up, and I'm going to want to hang out with her because Sunday's like great morning to hang out with my daughter, really the only one. So I don't want to miss that. But as I'm watching this guy play, it's like
have to stay up.
This guy's so good at football.
Can't miss it.
Definition of can't miss TV.
Yep.
Yes.
Must watch.
Yes.
All right, let's go to the next game. Stanford Steve, let's have a great college football weekend. They've been crushing it. College football has been crushing it.
Oh, yes.
And from literally 9 a.m. when we hop on TV all the way till 2 a.m. when Songapolatelli's done killing whoever the hell he's playing that way. It is. And Cal's schedule, they
can go.
They might be in a play. They might have a home playoff game.
They could.
They might have a home play. Anyways, go ahead, Steve. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 21 ranked Michigan at Nebraska. It's been ugly the last couple times. The last 2 wins, as you see on the screen, Michigan has demolished Nebraska. And Michigan's last night, it's over a decade since they lost in Lincoln. Who's not a fan of Matt Rhule? The question simply is it time for Matt Rhule and the Huskers in that great fan base?
How do you feel about it? I think Matt Rhule has been doing a lot, okay? Because I think he feels good about his team. He also has completely, seemingly opened his mind to Nebraska needs to market what we are. And the amount of times I see his facility, his office, their fans, their field, their players through social media, okay? Just through social media, I think has built the name brand back up to nowhere near maybe what it was at one point whenever they were in their heyday, but certainly nationally it has become a name that people respect and are also learning a lot about their history that maybe didn't know about it. So shout out to Matt Rhule being as open as he is to do everything and filming as much shit and putting it out as he does and coming on our show every single Thursday. But they say third-year Rhule is the one. Temple was the one. Baylor was the one. Is it going to be in Nebraska with another year with that offense with Rhule and Dana Holgorsen? Is the defense, the black shirts, going to be good enough to kind of handle everything they got up there in Michigan with Bryce Underwood in a grind and pound offense? What do you think, Tone?
If Nebraska, if they had the 2024 defense with this offense, with the 2025 offense, with second-year Rhule and Dana Holgorsen, I think I would take Nebraska in this one. But they gave up 200 rushing yards to Cincy in week 1, and that was the big thing. They lost 2 huge D tackles to the NFL this offseason. So, the question was, rush defense in the trenches, how are they going to hold up? And then Michigan looked like shit against Oklahoma's defense because of the trenches in the run game. They had the 175-yard run, but other than that, they had like 70 total yards rushing. But what I saw from Cincinnati in that first game against Nebraska was Sorsby was running all over the place. They were running the ball. Like it just gives me some hesitancy on Nebraska this one, even though it is home. They do have the advantage there. Biff Pogge's going to be the coach, so there. What I like is that we did these two games back to back. Illinois, IU, Nebraska, and Michigan. There's the top tier in the Big Ten. It's obviously it's Oregon, Penn State, and Ohio State. And then there's that next tier, and it's those 4 teams that I just mentioned and probably USC. So like the losers of these 2 games this weekend, like if the Big Ten wants to get a 4th team in the playoff, like the loser of the Nebraska, Michigan, IU, Illinois game is going to have a hard time being that 4th team, and the winners are going to be in the driver's seat to potentially be that 4th team with USC. It's a huge weekend for them.
Tell me about Bryce Underwood, Steve. Tell me about him.
I mean, an absolute stallion when you see him in person. Being on the sidelines at Oklahoma, I was like, holy hell, he is that big. The arm strength is ridiculous. I just find it compelling, Pat, that when you see Underwood at Oklahoma, I get it. Monster situation, tough road game. They didn't really pull the trigger. They didn't really let him throw the ball. Now Pogge's involved and head coach. I wonder if there was a conversation to say, you know what, son, we're going to let you ball out here. We're going to run you. We're going to let you throw the ball down the field. Is there a little change there that could help him now on this next road start? With Sharon not there, was he holding back a little bit? When you watch it, it's like, all right, this is why he was the number 1 guy with all the tools he brings to the table. And on the other side, I wonder if Nebraska going to so many 2 tight end sets now, does that play into Michigan and how well they can play defense? I thought Oklahoma did a good job of spreading Michigan out, making guys play in space. Nebraska has gone to a lot of tighter sets and made throwing lanes quicker for Rhule, which seems to me that they don't feel great confident in protecting him. So it feels like Michigan has the upper hand. And to Tone's point, that's what I see with Underwood. When you watch Sorsby in that opening game against Nebraska, he got loose, and Underwood is way more dynamic than Sorsby. So I totally expect Michigan to use the quarterback run involved in what's a monster spot. I was just like, in Ty's fan base rankings, where does Nebraska rank?
They're irrelevant until they.
Right there. Yes, man. I saw it in the movie with Jim Carrey. They're out there like 2 hours before the game starts. They're filling that place up for a volleyball game.
I'm not saying they're not a great fan base. I'm saying in my mind, like, I'm never losing any sleep about Nebraska until hey, if it's 3rd-year Rhule and they go this year.
But you're saying women's volleyball, you're certainly losing a little sleep for Nebraska.
I think Iowa's women's volleyball team fucking stinks. So I'm not.
To
be honest,
they got a good team over there.
I'm not losing a whole lot of sleep. Nebraska's a fucking powerhouse, so I'm not losing a whole lot of sleep.
Okay, that's what we're talking about, though. And football team maybe back to being a powerhouse.
We'll see, because you know what?
Is Nebraska about to become the Kings of the Midwest?
D-Boy, you know Nebraska football?
Well, I mean,
jeez.
I don't know.
What was that? Was that Governor?
I'm too young. I'm too young to remember their heyday.
Governor down there.
That was Governor Jeff Land.
Governor Jeff Land.
You don't know what
you
we're talking about.
You don't know nothing about that, do you?
Unbelievable. Hey, but back to this game, Steve. You talked about Underwood looking different in his offense, using his legs more. I would love to see him in a more spread out offense. I don't want to see him run the same offense J.J. McCarthy ran at Michigan. But going into this game, which quarterback do you trust more in their respective systems?
Good question.
Ooh, that's a very good question. As of right now, you would think Rhule. Just for what he's been asked to do. When you hear Holgorsen coming into this situation, he was blown away by what was on Rhule's plate last year as a freshman quarterback and all that he embraced in trying to get this team back to relevance. So he's looked super comfortable. The Cincinnati game, they did one of those, we're like Brian Kelly said last week against Florida, we played to win the game. That we were going to do what we had to do to win. We didn't care about statistics, the whole thing. And then they get that win against Cincinnati, and then they play some nobodies, and they run it all over and throw it all over. So do they have an extra, couple tricks in the bag for Michigan? Because I think they're going to need them. I think Michigan really matches up well. So it's kind of, obviously Underwood's ceiling is higher to me than Rhule. But right now, trustworthy at home in this game, I think you got to lean Rhule.
All right. We can't wait for that. What's the last game here we need to chit-chat about?
We got a quarterback going back to where he played last year, and that fan base is waiting for him. That's Auburn at Oklahoma. Jackson Arnold in new surroundings and those great Auburn uniforms just look good. They got a really good win at Baylor to start the year. I didn't know what to expect from that game, and Arnold did it with his legs. Designed quarterback runs, and I've said it multiple times. Give me a quarterback that could have succeeded in the circumstance in Norman last year. The offensive line and the lack of weapons was just insurmountable, and I thought he was in a no-win situation. So I know that fan base is jonesing because they obviously love their guy now more. When you talk about Mateer, coming in and doing what he's done in the Saturday night prime against Michigan. But to me, this comes down to Oklahoma's defense. We know what Venable's background is. Mason looks like he's going to be suspended for the first half because of targeting in the second half against Temple. But Oklahoma's defense is real. This is the best defense Auburn might face for the future time. I know they have a bunch of road games, but you see the stats. Total defense, scoring defense, pass defense. Oklahoma is real. They're at home, and you got to feel like this is a monster spot. Both these teams have monster schedules coming up. Yeah. But again, to that Indiana-Illinois point, the playoffs, the goal, I don't see the loser of this game being able to make the playoff. Wonder if you guys agree.
I will argue for Oklahoma all year after what we seen and learned about them whenever they played Michigan. Now, I know Michigan's not Michigan, but you think about a Venables defense, everybody historically in college football thinks it's good. Okay? Mm-hmm. Everybody thinks a Venables defense is going to be good. I think it has been in Oklahoma when he's been there. They just haven't been able to be offense. Mateer and Arbuckle coming to town, already knowing each other, and being able to have the athletes and the weapons that they're able to have at this school as opposed to at Washington State or anywhere else, I believe in Oklahoma in a huge way. That was kind of my messaging to all the Michigan alums that I was talking to after this particular game when they were like, we were bamboozled. Everybody thought they were lied to that were Michigan fans because we were told this was we paid the most. This is we got
never going to lose again.
We're like, that's what Michigan fans were like expecting coming into the season. I think because the high hopes for everything, and as they should. But I think they were very bummed out because they thought this was like same old Venables Oklahoma. Like, I can't believe we're losing to Oklahoma. They're not even in the conversation of the SEC. It's like, I think this is Oklahoma. I think this is a new Venables Oklahoma. I think this is a very good team. And I know you're talking about how everybody would talk about Mateer, but the defense should be chatted. Mateer needs to be talked about as well.
He does.
This guy is unbelievable. He's now the odds-on favorite to win the Heisman, and I can't stress it enough how much of an advantage it is if you need a new offensive coordinator, okay, or a quarterback. Try to bring them together. Mm-hmm. I mean, it has worked for, I think it happened with Bo Nix whenever he went to Oregon. It happened with Michael Penix whenever he went up to Washington and ended up working.
Pavia.
Diego Pavia, it worked for him.
Dan Pierre at Utah.
Dan Pierre and his guy, it's the same one. It's like, it feels like you get such a head start, especially if it's a one-year type thing that you're trying to do with quarterback. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, Pat, I meant to tell you, I went up to Arbuckle before the game on the sidelines, just introduced myself, hey, love what you're doing, the whole thing. And he just starts shaking his head. He's like, because I don't think he talked to his dad since, but he's like, I heard Pat met my dad. Oh, boy, I don't know how that conversation
He had a big-ass belt buckle.
Yeah, I wonder if he was wondering what time of day it was when you met Dad, like wondering if, things were said that maybe shouldn't.
Oh, yeah, I knew that about the dad while I was talking to him. Yeah, I had met this man before. Okay, I knew his exact type whenever he came up to me. Great accent from Texas. Literally, I had my belt buckle on or whatever. And he goes, hey, man, I'm something Arbuckle. I forget his first name. He was like, Arbuckle's father, and I'm like, holy hell, your kid's killing it here, man. Congrats to you. And he goes, yeah, that's a nice belt buckle you got. It ain't like this one, though. Picked it up, and it was a steer wrestling. It was a steer wrestling champion. Wow. Like, he was actual cowboy. Yeah, awesome. He was doing some light ranching. And I literally, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, wow, you earned that one. The whole conversation. He had great, it was just like, he was a cowboy. Yeah. This guy was a cowboy. I've met this man before. And I assume he is great at hammering whiskey. If I had to guess, that it might be, a little bit of a judgment here, casting, but I feel like I've met this type of human before. There's only a few of them that are still around out there. But boy, are they a great time. And I wish I could catch him in the middle of a shit-talking session because it felt like he was awesome. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Arbuckle boys. I am. And I also like that Mateer kid. I think Oklahoma's a perfect place for him. Mm-hmm. And their fans. Toby Keith's Blindside came in. What's the...
what they play now?
What's the song? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What's that song? We all know the words of the song.
Right. And they just changed that like this year, didn't they? It was like last year. Last year. Yeah, right after Toby Keith died.
My daddy.
My daddy served in the army
too. And he still flew a flag out in the yard until the day that he died. My mama, my brother, my sister, and me. In the land of the free. Yeah, that whole song.
Yeah.
Their entire game day audience sang that thing through an entire break, word for word through an entire.
Sweet.
I'm like, holy fuck, we're in America out here. We are out here. It was cool vibes. They are yearning for a great team.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like they got them. And Steve, we're lucky and thankful you do this every week, brother. We'll see you down in Miami.
Sounds good.
Coral Gables?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
175 degrees.
That's all right.
It's all right.
Put me in the roaster. Is that what it is? Or the steamer?
Yeah, steamer.
Put me in a steamer. What do they do with meat? What are you putting meat in when it sits there for a long?
Broil it.
The crock pot?
Yeah, crock pot. Yep.
It's head down in a crock pot down there in Miami.
Yep.
It's head down in a crock pot down there.
Hopefully you get a breeze.
Yeah, just think of the days that are coming. You need to mentally put yourself in flash freeze, Indiana, February when you're down there.
You're right.
Remember the last time we were in Miami?
It was cold.
Freezing. Yeah, you're right.
Ice on the roads.
That was Texas.
That was Texas. You're right.
That was the day after.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
same thing, though.
All right,
Texas.
Steve, we'll see you down there. We appreciate the hell out of you, man. Ladies and gentlemen, stand for Steve.
Yeah, Steve.